All right, this is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena. It's Open Lines Friday, but it's a special Open Lines Friday since we will be deciding, well, we'll be giving out the BDA Boxing Awards, and the most important award will be to the Fighter of the Year. And I think it's going to be a hot debate on that award, and also we're going to be, choosing other nominees and winners. All right, guys, you know how it works. Link in the description, link in the chat. Open Lines Friday. Anybody can join. Everybody should join. And first come, first served. And let's keep it to 11 people max. 11 people max. That's it. After that, it's too chaotic. All right. Guys, maybe we should open the polls. The poll, I should say, in the chat when we start, deciding the winners. Now, let me show you what I wrote down here. We can add more, we can take out some. So, biggest fight of the year, upset of the year, boxer of the year, fight of the year, yes, BDA caller of the year, worst Discord member, most annoying panelist, and the best panelist. So, we're going to have to fill this list. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. First of all, shout out to people in the chat. Iceman, Uncle, Burnt Apostrophe, Harp, Janda, Protectorate General, Pound for Pound King, The Boxing Kangaroo. Who else do we have here? Knockout Ned, Alfredo Contreras, SSC, Dark Hado, Harp Janda. Yeah, I already said him. I think his name. All right, guys, let's get this party started. I think we have somebody here already. It's Mr. BDA. BDA, you're there. Nope. I don't think you can hear me. Hold on. Hold on. Right. Yeah, BDA, can you hear me? Yeah, I was muted. Not muted. Something happened here. Yo.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, how should we proceed here? Like, should we leave the Fight of the Year award at the end, or we could just start right away? Let's just start right away. I think everybody wants to know who the Fighter of the Year is. So we're gonna ask Gonzalo first. Gonzalo, you there?
Is my Discord working?
Yeah. Finally.
Okay,
all right.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, Gonzalo, it's the BDA Year-End Awards. And well, let's start with the most important one of all. Fighter of the Year. Some people are saying it's Terence Crawford. Others are saying it's Inoue. Who is your Fighter of the Year?
I'd probably go with Inoue. He fought more times. How many times did he fight? 2, 3. Crawford fought 1, and his opponent was compromised.
Well, I mean, but Errol Spence Jr. was a pound for pounder according to many people apparently. I don't know, but yeah, that's what they say. Spence was a pound for pounder. Did Inoue beat somebody like Errol Spence Jr.?
It's interesting because these are two guys that have become double undisputed. So they were undisputed in their second weight class to conquer. But in regards to the opponent, no two men in the world are the same. You can't really compare. Did he fight Errol Spence? Because Inoue's opponents will never be an Errol Spence. For one, it's a different weight division, and it's a totally different fighter and atmosphere altogether fighting in Japan. So the American audience is never going to give the smaller fighter fighting in Japan as much credit as a mainstream fighter like Errol Spence in the United States. So it's never going to be perceived as the same. So you can't really say whether he was or he wasn't. Maybe in Japan they value that other fighter more than they do in the United States, the opponent I'm referring to.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And I agree with your point. It's about perception. And my perception of Errol Spence Jr. wasn't that high, to be honest. I never rated him a pound for pounder because he had never faced Terence Crawford. I don't understand how you can be a pound for pounder when you haven't even cleared your division. I mean, he wasn't even the lineal welterweight champion. So I don't understand how some people had him in the top 5. By the way, Ernie Wiles, thank you for your super chat. He says, best panelist, sober Gonzalo. Worst panelist, inebriated Gonzalo. Interesting. So I guess at the end of the day, he thinks Gonzalo Oh, Gonzalo takes 2 awards. How's that? Gonzalo, you got 2 BDA awards according to him.
Wow, cool. That's awesome.
Gonzalo is the salt and the sugar. Salt and sugar. He's the best and the worst at the same time.
Interesting. But yeah, what else? So what Gonzalo said is true, though. And like you said, Mr. B, a lot of people don't, a lot of Americans don't even follow the lower weights. So they're unable to make a proper assessment of how good Inoue is, right?
I don't remember specifically me saying, I mean, most people say that it's true. It's the lower weight divisions are underrated, overlooked, underappreciated. And so, and you saw the proof in the build-up to both the Inoue Fulton, actually not the Inoue Fulton fight, no, because there was a racial component and the racial programming for a lot of people, especially a lot of Afro-Anglos, kicked in, and they just had to root for the Afro-Anglo and they had to big him up, which they often do. Now, with the Tapales fight, that component was missing, so they just overlooked it straight off the bat. Who is Tapales? Oh, he's already got 2-3 losses. He's never beaten anybody. Who's he beaten? Of course, they didn't know that he beat MJ, who was the guy that going into a Fulton fight a year earlier was considered 50-50 between him and Fulton. So the fact that Inoue just cut through those guys and it wasn't even close. It was competitive. That the Palace fight was competitive, but it wasn't even close. So Inoue for me is the fighter of the year.
Yeah.
But that's not to discredit what Crawford did. I was rewatching the Spence fight earlier for a video I'm making, and wowee, that was a butchering. And Spence, when they were face to face during the ring introductions or ring instructions rather, Spence looked bigger, or at least taller, but he looked substantially like he was a big dude in there. So this whole thing about him being weight drained and all that, I think that the alcohol and the lifestyle played more of a factor than the actual cutting of the weight. But nevertheless, Crawford is a good runner-up. Haney as well, but he had that robbery. And, of course, he didn't pay off the judges himself, blah, blah, blah. He's not to blame for it. But he is to blame for the fact that he couldn't pull off a decisive win over Lomachenko and the fact that he avoided a rematch. So I can't give him a fight of the year either. Benavidez comes a close fourth, I believe, because he did have a good year. But then again, Caleb Plant, he couldn't stop him, whereas Canelo did. So he sort of a little bit of a bump in there. But then he did take care of business against Andrade. So he's another contender right there. But ultimately goes to Inoue.
Teofimo Lopez
too, but of course, like Crawford was just one win, and then on top of that, it's not like he stopped Josh Taylor, and that fight was more competitive.
Why did he have to stop Josh? Sorry, but he didn't have to stop Josh. Did he have to stop Josh Taylor?
Well, I mean, in comparison to what Crawford did to Spence, yeah. If he wants to be fight of the year with just one fight.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but
no, you don't guess. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, I was never impressed by that impressed by Errol Spence Jr. He was a good boxer, but there was just something that he didn't look like a pound for pounder, in my opinion. By the way, when you lose like that, are you really a pound for pounder? Can a pound for pounder lose like that?
That's a good question, man, because, like, for example, Canelo moves up in weight, gets beaten by Bivol, but he still won some rounds. And he didn't get stopped. He didn't get
trouble.
Dropped.
He gave him some sorry to cut you off. He gave him some problems, right?
Yeah, exactly. For example, Lomachenko, when he lost to Lopez, it was like a 7-5 fight type of fight, 7 rounds to 5. Who else? Golovkin, for example, when he loses to Canelo, he's still a competitive fight. He's not getting his ass beat. Meanwhile, this dude, Errol Spence, goes in there and just gets obliterated. I think maybe you could. No, you can't even give him I didn't give him a round. Now that I think about it, I don't think I gave him either the first or the sixth, which were sort of his best rounds.
I mean, best rounds because Crawford didn't put on the pressure or something. You know what I mean? Didn't continue doing what he was doing. But no, I don't even think you can give him a round. By the way, that handsome dude, thank you for your super chat. He says, nomination for robbery of the year, Haney versus Loma. Yeah, that's a great point, man. And I added a category here, robbery of the year as well, so we can also give an award for that shit. Let's see. Who else do we have here on the Discord? We have NPR. NPR, what's up? How are you?
What's up, guys? How you feeling today?
Pretty good. We're doing the awards show here. You want to give us your fighter of the year?
Oh, it's going to be Inoue. It's going to be Inoue for sure. What he's accomplished over the past 2 years has been, I mean, I guess it's a little over a year in the fact that he went 2 times undisputed, and the way he did it against quality fighters, I mean, it was very impressive indeed. And you also got the sense that there was no shenanigans going on, that there was a pure fight, real top guys, pure fight. I missed a chance. I was away for the holidays, so I missed a chance to talk about, kind of break down the fight, the last Inoue fight. I would have liked to, because he fought us such a quality, slick opponent and just dominated him in such a way. So yeah, I'm fully on board with Inoue.
You said it was a pure fight. Was Spence versus Crawford a pure fight?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that was a pure fight. There's no doubt about it. I saw no favoritism in that, and he dominated him as well. But I think the notion that Inoue has been dominating his entire career up until these 2 unbelievable performances, one last July and then the other one this against Fulton, and now this latest fight he had. I think that there's no doubt about it. I mean, they're too close and they were both incredible, and it was pure boxing skill. You're not going to get the kind of brutality that you got with Spence and Crawford, because those guys are a bigger weight. They can hit harder. But as far as like efficiency, absolute dominance, meeting the guy in the center of the ring, and giving up nothing, playing defense off offense, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, what a piecing. I haven't seen a fight like that in a long time. And I don't know if I've ever seen a fight like that. It was so efficient.
Yeah.
There's nothing wasted, nothing. So yeah. So my money's on Inoue.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You kind of have to feel a little bad for Crawford. I mean, he goes in there, gets the fight he's wanted for 4 years, beats the guy, doesn't lose a round, and then comes Inoue and does just a little bit better there, and steals a play away from him. I mean, that's why Crawford was having a meltdown a week ago, saying, "Who else has done what I did? I started undisputed first." By the way, now he's going at it with Teofimo Lopez on Twitter. Well, that was a couple of days ago, but he's got some diva tendencies.
Yeah, but it also, BDA, I've said it in the past too, NPR, Mucho, since the guy's 38 and Inouye's 31, it almost seems like, okay, yeah, you were in the race, maybe a close second. A lot of people, okay, if they want to have him number 1, but to me, like, if you consider that he only fought once, it almost seems like a consolation prize. Okay, how probable is that he's going to be in the running at 39, 40? It's going to be even worse. It's going to be perceived as an award for like a senior citizen in boxing. So you give it to him now because he probably won't be on the list again. Because unless you're like a Bernard Hopkins type of dude, that's fighting into his 40s. And he knew he's got a lot more thread in the tires, like PDA said last week or 2 weeks ago.
Well, Gonzalo, Gonzalo, maybe that's one of the reasons why Terence Crawford's going after Teofimo Lopez. I mean, maybe he wants to make sure that he wins that award, Fighter of the Year, in 2024. So he's already planning ahead, man. He needs to fight this type of guys.
Yeah, let me adjust my mic because I got this new device.
What would it take for Terence Crawford to win Fighter of the Year, Mr. BDA, this year?
That's a good question. Let's say we rewind. Let's say we could go back in time. Time is flexible. Let's say Crawford beats Fulton Tapales. That line is set. That the destiny thread is set. Now, what does Crawford do to win? He would have to beat Spence, and he would have to do it twice, because there's a precedent for this. When when Werner Forrest beat Shane Mosley, he did it twice. That was 2002. The lawyer had a decent year. He beat Campas, Yuriboy Campas, that is, and then he had his grudge match, which Fernando Vargas knocked him out. That was a good performance. Barrera beat Morales, but that was controversial. So the fact that this guy came along and did it twice, Werner Forrest, they gave him Fighter of the Year. But then again, I guess the dynamic here is a little different now that you get me thinking, because in 2002 there was no clear rival against Vernon Forrest. So I don't know. Okay, I'll ask you guys. Piggyback off what Butch said. If Crawford would have beaten Errol Spence, and then in August or October, whatever, he would have beaten Jaron Ennis, would you guys have given him Fighter of the Year?
No, I'm not sure because Inoue was so dominant. And who the fuck is Ennis at this point right now? Right?
I mean,
Right,
probably. I would say probably because he still would have been double undisputed, and you know what they used to say about the welterweight division? It's the glamour division, and it's been held hostage for such a long time that maybe it's lost some of its luster. But then again, if the wheels got rolling again and fighters at welterweight would be like more active, it would probably regain some of that prestige. And a lot of people would probably be more biased towards that division compared to the lighter weights.
You know that Crawford's never won Fighter of the Year? Teofimo Lopez told him that. He said, I've done this already in 2020. Then Crawford replied by saying, I won it too. But then apparently it was ESPN or Sports Illustrated, something like that, which doesn't really count. I mean, Ring Magazine has always been the standard bearer of boxing, and whomever they said was the Fighter of the Year goes. So it is interesting that Crawford's never gotten it. And like Gonzalo said, if he wasn't going to get it this year, it's unlikely that at his advanced age he's going to get it again, unless next year he beats Canelo or something.
He can get it this year. Let's say he beats Teofimo Lopez, and then he fights Charlo. Jermel comes back to 154, has some belts. That's 2 big wins.
That could work.
And
yeah, I was wondering that, man.
What about Tim?
I was wondering, he never won it. He never won it. So why couldn't they do it like they did with Tyson Fury when he was awarded? 2 guys were awarded at the same year for the same year, at the same time. They could have given it to him.
They did that? When did that happen?
They've done it like in 2 or 3 occasions before in the past.
What?
Yeah, they did it. Yeah, they did. Bucho, they did it. The last time they did it was 2020 when Lopez beat Lomachenko and Fury beat Wilder. Which, by the way, Fury beating Wilder gets you Fighter of the Year. I mean, that's
no.
In hindsight, that's
that's fucking bullshit. For beating Wilder, ridiculous, man. All right, then. No, I don't know because see, to be honest, this was the right decision because Crawford only fought once. This is not an injustice, you know? It's not an injustice.
It's not, but I blame, you know who is really to blame here? And it fucking sucks for Terrence Crawford. It's the PBC and Errol Spence and all the other people out aiming. Because they didn't want Crawford to fight anybody else in order to secure the Spence fight prior. So you had to kind of hang around and wait until that dude moved so you could move. Right? So that's what kind of like fucked them over in that regard.
Well, yeah, they got him hostage.
Why can't it be like the old days? I remember in 1999 when De Hoya fought Tito Trinidad. In that same year, he fought I Corte. And then he fought Obakar, I think. So they probably already kind of knew that that fight with Trinidad was going to happen eventually, no? And they still put him in there with I Corte. Which was a very difficult fight.
I don't know about that.
No,
Trinidad at that point was there was talks that he was going to be moving up. He was having a hard time making the 147. But listen, Butcher, you start to sound like an old man. Back in the day, 1999, it's going to be 30 years this decade. So you gotta. No,
but what I'm saying is the exact fighting. Okay. When Vargas before he fought Trinidad, he fought I Corte as well, right?
Yeah.
And then he fought
Thompson
or something like in
those days are gone, man.
Yeah, but this is what Gonzalo was saying. Like, okay, Crawford's gonna fight Spence eventually. Or don't even give him a tune-up fight because it might jeopardize the whole thing. But how pathetic is that?
Right.
Anyway,
it's disgusting, and it begs the question too with the PBC, what's going to happen with them because we haven't heard any news. They said March was the date when they were gonna do the first Amazon thing, but we're already in January. they better hurry up and announce something. Get these fighters ready for March.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now we have Amok and Bad Never Sobers. Welcome to the show, guys. And we have the Boxing Kangaroo as well. Who's this guy? The Boxing Kangaroo. Is he somebody we know?
So, he's an Aussie.
It's Australian.
He's an Aussie. He's an Aussie, mate. Oi, mate. Oi, mate.
That's cool.
All right. Let's
He's
get
an Aussie,
started.
mate.
Guys, fighter of the year. Let's go. Who's your fighter of the year? Who wants to go?
Canelo Alvarez.
All right, break it
It's
down.
got to be in a way.
All right, who wants to go? Okay, Kangaroo, go ahead.
It's got to be in a way. Got to be in a way.
Yeah.
It's got to be in a way. Undisputed at 122 in 5 months. 2-time undisputed in just over 12 months. I mean, you can't argue with that. What are we talking about here?
Well, Spence Jr. is a pound for pounder, right?
Yeah,
Destroyed by
our number
Crawford.
one
So what do you say
booze
about that? What do you have to say about that?
He's a fucking booze hound. He's pound for pound number one booze hound.
Yeah, I agree. All right, who else? Never Sobers.
Can y'all hear me straight?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just joking about the Canelo Alvarez, right? Maybe if Charlo had showed up to fight or something, he could have had a better chance. But the wet fart of a performance Charlo put on took Canelo out of the conversation because that was another pound for pound fighter, and he fought more than once. So I would give him a higher place on the fighter of the year list than Crawford because I've only fought once. And the guy he fought, what was his name? Spence. He himself has come out. You know, he's talking shit. Oh, I need a cataract surgery. I wasn't even living the boxer lifestyle. How, you know, of course I got my ass whooped. So but I still believe Crawford should get a fighter of the year because he beat me. Errol Spence, like saying that shit, he's just stroking his own ego, bro. Like, you know, he's just trying to put himself up further in his head by saying that dumb shit. In a way, you know, what is the proof's in the pudding? And in a way ain't the fighter of the year, bro.
All right. Who else do we have? Amok.
Yeah, I agree with what everybody's saying. It's got to be anyway. He's the one been grinding this year, doing shit, making shit look impressive.
Exactly. The Crawford fights once this year, last year, and that all of a sudden he wants to, you know, he wants to be the fighter of the year. It's ridiculous. Justin, go ahead.
Basically the same thing. I thought we was gonna be talking about the Beterbiev Callum Smith's fight.
Well, we'll talk about it later.
We could talk about more than one thing, bro.
That's a bad fight. Honestly, I think it's a mixed match.
Really? Why?
Well, he got a gift decision at 168. On top of that, his best wins at 168. I'm not that really impressed about him at 175.
I like him being with Buddy McGirt. Him being with Buddy McGirt.
Buddy McGirt. By the way,
care about that
who is this? Buddy McGirt. This is 2000.
It's already a new year.
Somebody got echo right there.
Yeah, Gonzalo, you need to mute your mic, Mike.
Gonzalo's speaking to us from Mars.
Yeah, Gonzalo, you need to mute your mic. There's background noise, Gonzalo. All right, I was gonna say that we created a poll an hour ago, 1,200 votes, 86% are picking Beterbiev. 86%. You guys think that makes sense?
What's interesting? How's my mic?
It's echoing.
It's echoing.
Hold on, I got Discord problems, man. Hold on.
All right. So 86% of the voters are picking Beterbiev. Guys, are you surprised?
Nope.
Do you disagree?
No, I'm not.
No, he's a favorite. He's undefeated. He has a 100% finish ratio. Yeah, you know what I mean? And Callum Smith, you know, he didn't do anything against Canelo. Canelo was beating him up on his arms, you know, and it scared him. So I can see how everyone's got, you know, Beterbiev winning. You know, he's a favorite. But I give Callum Smith a good chance in this fight, bro. I think he's looked good at 175. I think the weight suits him better. He's probably killing himself to make 168. Look at David Benavidez. He's like 6'1", and he's killing himself to make 168. This guy's 6'3", 6'4". You know, he's much better at 175. That
Man,
guy
I
who
don't-
he gave that guy who he gave a
I,
seizure to in the ring, the guy who he gave a seizure to in the ring, Lennon Castillo. You know, he's not a very big name. No one knows who he is like that. But I saw him fight Bivol, and he was giving Bivol a little bit of issues. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a bad win for him at that weight. I think he looks good. Beterbiev is 38 going on 39. He's constantly injured, bro. He's gonna get caught slipping by one of these younger guys. I think it could be Callum Smith, bro.
All right.
I agree.
That's
That's why
I don't know. I don't think Callum Smith even has a chance, to be honest. I mean, that dude went life and death with fucking Jacobs and Ryder and got a gift decision against Ryder. Yeah, I don't really give him a chance.
Now again, Amok, people are saying this is a new Callum Smith at 175.
Man, that's
You know,
a bunch of fucking bullshit, man. That's like saying Spence moving up to 154. Oh, this is a new Spence. Let him fight Tim Zoo. See what happens.
Yeah, he's 6'3" though.
My biggest problem.
The giant.
My biggest problem with Callum Smith is that he fought a fucking bum, a French fucking bum, in the August of 2022. He's inactive as fuck. Beterbiev's gonna fucking wipe the floor with this cunt.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and agree with that. I don't think Callum Smith. He just has lousy footwork. He comes across as imbalanced. He doesn't know how to circle out. He goes kind of straight back against the ropes, and he has the stupid static high guard that it never changes. I don't think he's changed one bit. If Beterbiev will close the distance on him right quick and just piece him up brutally. I don't really see how he's going to.
He's got a big left hook. He's got a big left hook, everyone.
I agree with this guy. He looks like an autistic breakdancer that never breakdanced before.
Oh, come on.
What's interesting is supposedly he was wagering when he fought Canelo, and his only loss on record. Maybe there was a controversial win sometime before that. But he went the distance. Canelo put a beating, and he was able to take it. 2-3 fights ago, Beterbiev, I don't know, he was fighting some Russian dude. He took him 11 rounds to get him out of there. That dude was tough. He was hanging in there. I'm just saying, Callum Smith can be tough enough to take anything that Beterbiev dishes out if he's not on his best night. Like,
yeah, I think he can go the distance.
Yeah, okay, so with that being said, he's got power, and he was dehydrated when he fought Canelo, and he still was tough enough. Imagine now that he's a little bit more beefed up at 75, that means he's just going to be able to take that beating that much more.
Yeah, but he's fighting a bigger guy than Canelo.
And have the possibility of catching the opponent with one quick salvo, right? Because he got power
Can
too.
I say something about that? Yeah, listen, Callum Smith, I was rewatching his fights earlier, his last two fights. He does seem to have more pep in his step at 175. Then again, like you guys mentioned, who was it against? It was guys that, they're not exactly the top 10 light heavyweights in the world. That being said, he does have more pep in his step. He does hit harder. I mean, he can crack with both hands. And the bad news for him, though, is that the two guys that gave him the most trouble was Canelo and John Ryder. Two short, stocky, muscular guys who come forward. And that's Beterbiev. Now, Beterbiev, he's got a couple of holes in his defense. He doesn't have a perfect guard. Sometimes he tends to drop those hands. He is, 38 now? He's coming off a bit of a layoff himself. So I think things could even out here. I don't know, man. Callum Smith, I'll just say this. Callum Smith is being trained by Buddy McGirt. It's 2024. 20 years ago, Antonio Tarver knocked out Roy Jones in the rematch. I'm just going to say that.
Okay, so
Inactivity, fellas. He hasn't,
what I would have to say
17 months. He hasn't fought
about
17
Callum
months.
Smith.
That's true.
Right. So about Callum Smith, who here can confidently say that Callum Smith knows how to fight offense off of defense? Has anybody ever seen him do that one time? Not once. He either shells up, right, with his 6'3" ass frame and kind of spindly legs that are way too long to be supporting that weight, and he is slow as hell with his feet. Beterbiev leaps in. Beterbiev will close that distance right quick and hammer him. So he's going to have to be backing up the whole fight. And he doesn't, as I say, he doesn't know how to fight defense off of offense. He either has that range and keeps you at range, or he's shelling up. That's it. I've never seen Callum Smith do anything else. Has anybody?
That's a good point.
I mean, he's lost to small guys like Canelo and Ryder. Now imagine someone who's bigger. and hits harder.
Older.
That could play into him his advantage a little bit better. It might be easier. The body metrics might be easier for him to hit someone like the size of Beterbiev than like someone the size of Canelo.
I mean,
Yeah, they're taller. Beterbiev is taller than Canelo and Ryder.
I'm saying it might be easier for him to get that hook on him.
I mean, you say he has more pep in the step, but he does seem a little slower.
Yeah, good point. Chris K.
Y'all talk about how Yarde was fucking hurting Beterbiev and how this fool's been dropped by lesser punchers.
Exactly.
Y'all really on his nuts, man. Like he's undefeatable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You can hit Beterbiev.
I mean, Callum Johnson and some other guy.
By the way, Chris K, thank you for the super chat. Gonzalo, Chris K says, Gonzalo calling in from a submarine. I think he's in trouble.
Yeah, that's the best I can do for now.
Yeah, it's okay. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
I don't know what's wrong with. He's on en route. How many fights? He got 19, going on 20. The only guy to retire undefeated. I mean, he did die early with the 100% knockout ratio. Virgil Ortiz is on that path too. But anyways, Beterbiev to like having a career with all knockouts. It was Edwin Valero, 27 fights with 27 KOs. This guy, he could possibly be up there, but I mean, it's getting harder. I'm just saying that's an extra motivation for you, knocking everybody the fuck out. But, you know, he's not necessarily that fast. He relies a lot of, the element of surprise and brute strength to knock you out. So he's not really that fast. So he's there to be hit. He's been hit before, like you guys were saying.
Yeah, he depends on his size against smaller guys. Now he's fighting someone who's more similar to his
I think
size.
there could be a surprise. Like, Beterbiev has gotten nasty cuts before, right? So that could be a surprise. Like, you know, if Beterbiev, because he's got all that scar tissue on his face, so he could get cut.
Yeah, but just to tap in on what BDA said about Beterbiev taking shots with his defense not being the best, that's just how he fights, mate. That's the type of fighter he is. He walks into it.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's his. He takes punishment to give punishment. Can Callum Smith take the punishment?
I mean,
he's a younger man, so we'll say he probably has a little bit more than tank to give. But he's almost 40. He's getting like almost 39. He's had some hard fights. Like you're bringing up the scar tissue. You know what I mean? I think he's right. I don't even think that Smith is so like, you know, the world champion of the, you know what I'm saying? I don't hold him in such high regard, but I just think Beterbiev's right for the picking, bro. And I don't think Smith is that bad, like you guys are trying to make him out to be.
I don't think Smith's the guy.
I don't know. I don't see what he can do to exploit some of his weakness.
Bad, right? I mean, they're still A-class fighters. They're still incredible fighters that'll whoop ass over 99.8% of the population, right? So that's not the question. The question is that what have you seen in Callum Smith's style, offense, defense, that would let you believe footwork, just put all the elements together. What have you seen that's fundamentally changed at all? It's been the same thing over and over and over again. And that's the issue I have with it. It's not that he's a bad fighter. These guys are excellent fighters.
Beterbiev also looks the same in all his fights, bro.
Yeah, but Beterbiev has been but in a devastating monster way, right? In a devastating, you can't keep him off of him. I mean, look what he did to Grocek. Now, Grocek was a beautiful fight. Dinas, when he fought Dinas, I was like, yo, Dinas,
was losing against Adonis, right? When he beat him.
Well, say it again.
Govzik was losing against Adonis when he beat him. That was like his best win. Govzik, you could say, you know, he's not as.
Well, but you're looking at a highly skilled, pretty durable fighter in Govzik. I don't think he's the most durable fighter, but you're looking at a guy who's highly skilled. And before that, Dinas was given what's his name, Beterbiev, all kinds of fits and starts, right? And you're looking at excellent fighters. The difference is that these guys, with their immaculate skills, classically trained, beautiful style, you know, giving and getting, you know, I mean, these guys are excellently trained, couldn't stop the dude. That's what I'm saying. He just, you know, the guy comes forward so much, has been doing it so long, and he's a better boxer than people give him credit for. A far better boxer. Bivol even said so. I don't see him being this, horrible defensive guy. He's not a horrible defensive guy, and he actually does fight off of, or when he's coming forward, he's got that kind of what do you call it, palms up. He has the palms up defense guard, instead of the other way around, like Callum Smith, the high guard. Yeah. Beterbiev uses his palms up, right, as opposed to his knuckles forward, the flats of his hands forward. It's a different style, and so what that shows you is not a what?
Sorry, mate. He's not a slow starter. He's not a slow starter.
He goes right at it.
Beterbiev just gets in there and cracks. He wants to test you out. He's going to hit you to the liver. He's going to hit you to the face, hit you to the arms. He's just going to start throwing, and he's going to see what you can handle, and whether you respect his power or not, and if you want to exchange. I think Smith will for a while, but I think that's his demise. He falls straight into Beterbiev's wheelhouse, and Beterbiev I think he'll just overpower him. And people have been waiting out Beterbiev to age out for years, mate. I mean, come on, the dude he's got 19 fights. He doesn't have the miles on the tyres. Man, I just don't think Callum Smith's that dude. With all his inactivity, I think activity is the biggest thing that kills the sport today for fighters. And one fight in 17 months and knocking out a French fucking bum who no one had ever heard of.
In the chat, Protector at General says Callum Smith has a bit more power, but Beterbiev has more skill. Is that? You guys think that's correct?
Like Callum Smith, he's got power, and if Beterbiev thinks that he's just gonna barrel in there, he can. I'm just saying, he can get caught. He can get caught cold, like he has in the past, and dropped by guys probably with lesser power than Callum Smith. And the thing, maybe he don't got a lot of wear on the tires in regards to taking beatings, but definitely on the joints because of his training methods. He's worn down with lifting all the weights and then doing all the things that wear on your connective tissues. So that could be a problem for him. And he's older than Callum Smith. He's older.
Yeah, way older.
Well, I mean, Smith has taken punishment. He was taking punishment against Ryder. He was also taking punishment against Canelo.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, you start looking at
You got to consider those guys are super tough too. The gorilla John Ryder, I don't think he's less tougher than Beterbiev. Yeah, Beterbiev is a monster, maybe a different animal in the sense that he hits harder, but still, John Ryder take nothing away from his ability to soak up punishment. Same with Canelo. Those are two tough guys that look at Canelo's chin that you're not going to be able to knock out. John Ryder and Canelo, you're not going to be able to knock those dudes out. I think you have a better chance of catching Beterbiev than John Ryder and Canelo. But Beterbiev, if you combine the power he got, it brings it to a different level.
And you know what, Gonzalo? People are talking down about Callum Smith losing to Canelo and stuff, like, he got beat up by little-ass Canelo. There is talks of Canelo fighting a Beterbiev as well. So, them all being in the same realm of fighting each other shouldn't be that outrageous to everyone.
You guys doing predictions right now?
We're just talking about it, the fight, I guess.
Oh, yeah, because if you were doing predictions, I want to put my one in mine in there. I'm taking Beterbiev within inside 8 rounds. He's going to knock him out.
Inside 8 rounds or in 8?
Inside 8 rounds. In 8. You say in 8, yeah.
All right, the thing is, I'm not writing this down because I think most people are picking Beterbiev, so there's really no point in writing this down, I think.
I guess, okay, all right, it makes sense.
Well, you're on the record.
The reason why
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's a good point, Bucho. It's like, who isn't picking Beterbiev by stoppage?
Well, there's a 10% population out there. They're not 10% out there that they think Caleb has.
Hey, man, I love both
I'm going to take double what they're taking.
Underdogs, bro. I don't care.
According to the poll we just did here an hour ago, 14% are picking Smith. 14%.
Yeah, that's 14. So we're a little over 10%. So
yeah.
That's
probably bots, bro. Let's be real.
Bots.
Yo,
well, I mean, like, you guys are.
You guys leaning in, saying about his age and shit, man. You know what? this motherfucker, he cracks, and that's it. Period. He doesn't lose that shit. He's gonna steamroll this motherfucking Callum Smith. Callum Smith's only usage is fucking fighting his own brother in the fucking living room of his mom's house, man. That's it.
Yeah.
You know.
You gotta think. Callum Smith cracks too, and he's durable. Just because
No. You can't put him on the man. You can't put him on the. You guys open your fucking eyes, man. You guys are so like. I know you guys like watching. You're trying to be like speculative,
eyes, but you gotta get Beterbiev's dick out of your mouth first, okay? Then I'll open my eyes, bro. All right?
Watch.
I got Smith winning.
Well, guess what, Rickstar, let me tell you something. We have somebody in the chat. Hold on. We have Campos Vasquez who likes to place a lot of bets. He says he's putting $60 on Callum Smith.
That's right,
He's putting what?
$60.
That's a lost money right there.
Because he gave Smith enough credit for his experience with Canelo.
Is that your life savings? $60?
That's right.
Improved since Canelo.
Hey, why not? Depends on the odds, I guess. I mean, what are the odds? Somebody in the chat. I'll check them out. Go ahead, guys.
Caleb Smith is not the better boxer. Caleb Smith is not the better boxer, and he does not hit harder. So ultimately, when you have those two together, it's a knockout.
Hey, Gypsy.
Usually.
Gypsy. Beterbiev's 38 years old. Injuries.
I know he is, bro,
Full of
but
injuries.
a 38-year-old that still knows how to box, his reflexes aren't completely shot, and he hits much harder than Caleb Smith does. Caleb Smith does not hit. Bro, Caleb Smith's power is overrated. I'm just telling you guys. It's there.
Yep.
It's not like it's not, but it's overrated.
I just want to know when it.
Fully agree with that.
I just want to know when in the world has Beterbiev ever needed judges? When has he ever needed to go to a judge?
That's a good speculative fucking observation right there, man. You just said it.
I'd love to be a judge of one of Beterbiev's fights. I'd be doing lines of blow and just not even. I'd know that my services won't be required Saturday night. It's fucking simple.
People are talking about Smith, some big puncher, 72% KO ratio, and he's only stayed in one division his whole career before. That's not some huge puncher. Yeah, if he catches you with a perfect punch, he can knock somebody out. So can Caleb Plant. So can a lot of.
Bro, do you see what he did at Lenny Castillo?
Yeah, but
have you seen it at 175?
Yeah, he was doing that against little guys though, and he was using his physique in order to do that.
He did against Lenny Castillo? You can't tell me that's not a fucking hard punch, bro. I don't give a fuck.
Let's be real. Who the hell is that guy?
Watch him fight.
Who's the last guy?
If they catch you clean,
watch that
all
right,
big dangerous puncher, man.
Well, it's
who's the last guy Caleb Smith fought? Who's the last guy Caleb Smith fought?
Nobody knows.
It's a small ass dude, right? 175, and that guy was still clipping him and keeping him at bay until he got caught with a nice one, and then he was all.
That was August 2022. That was August 2022. Yeah. His last
Callum
fight.
Smith. You guys haven't said
he took last year off.
Callum Smith's got a heart the size of a pea. Okay. You just come forward and bully this guy, and it's over.
No, you're exaggerating, bro.
You pound him out. You pound him out.
Hey, no, because he would have took the knee against Canelo. He would have tapped out. He would have stopped in the corner, bro, like your boy Andrade.
But he fought like a pussy, man. He got walked down by this little midget, and he just got heavy bag for 12 rounds. John Ryder did it as well.
That little midget was in talks to fight this guy Beterbiev too. That same midget was in talks to fight Beterbiev. You can't just dismiss him.
If Benavides would have defeated Callum Smith, if Benavides would have defeated Callum Smith, it would have been one of his biggest wins. By the way, Mars. By the way, super chat.
Underrated champion.
Mars says, guys.
Look at what Canelo did to Callum's fucking arm, right?
Jesus Christ! Let me talk. Let me talk.
He turned into a veal cutlet. Listen,
Rickstar.
Bucho's trying to talk. Bro, Bucho's talking. You're on your channel, bro. It's Bucho's channel. It's not your channel.
Hold on,
Bucho's
guys.
Channel. Let him talk.
Quickly, Mars. Thank you for. He's gonna read a super chat. Mars, thank you for your super chat. He says Dora gonna have a tantrum if Callum Smith wins. Why is that? I don't know. Explain it in the chat, Mars. I'm not sure. Well, Mars, he should join the show later on. All right, go ahead, Rickstar.
Yeah, look at what fucking Canelo did to fucking Callum's arm. All right, he turned it into a veal cutlet. what will fucking Beterbiev do to his fucking face? You just look at it in the same parallel. This guy, fuck man, you guys saw what's his name? Fucking Chris.
How many times you seen Callum Smith drop? How many times you seen Callum Smith drop, bro?
Get him out of there though. Canelo.
It'll happen.
Hey, let me ask you, bro. How many times you seen Callum Smith dropped?
You'll see him tomorrow. You'll see him
I'm asking you, bro. You're not answering.
I'm saying, my prediction is it'll happen.
No, how many times you seen Callum Smith drop, bro?
Okay, I will give you that. He has not.
Is the answer zero? How many times have you seen Beterbiev drop, bro?
How many times do you see Joe Smith drop?
Once? But hey, was it more than once?
That's a good
was
point.
it more than once? Hey, am I asking you? Was it more than once?
Yep.
Was it more than once?
What I'm saying, you.
Okay, it was. Is the answer yes? Is the answer yes? Is the answer yes?
Okay, how much?
Okay. Don't tell me who the fuck's tougher.
That's what you're talking about.
Honestly, if he's never been getting dropped, this is the fight where he dropped. I'll put money on that.
Exactly.
Based on styles, it's bad for.
Did Joe Smith ever get dropped before he fought Beterbiev? Joe Smith. That's a tough motherfucker right there.
Right, and fucking Beterbiev, that Chechen, he fucking steamrolled that motherfucker.
In two rounds.
In 2 rounds.
Well, Smith Jr. did have some success when he was using the jab for a little bit of time, but he was. And
that's a funny success, brother.
Yeah. Caleb Smith don't have that kind of jab.
Yeah,
so,
I think Joe Smith hits harder than fucking Caleb Smith does.
Yeah, I do too. That dude's gonna. I honestly, he's getting. Let's be real.
Okay, let's be honest. I don't want it to be a one-round fight. I don't want it to be a one-round fight. I want to see some fucking action. I want to see
what you want and what's reality is different, man. Who cares what you want? Who cares? He's gonna get walked down.
Not in one round. I mean, what he said, what Rick is saying, we need to see a few rounds here. And by the way, he's 38 years old. I think it's beneficial for him if the fight goes a little bit more than one fucking round. By the way,
he's 38 years old, but Bucho, he's stopping these guys. He's not. It's not like he's going to decision with these dudes. That's why he's got like a little more miles on him.
It's not like a one-round KO.
You know, when you don't get paid extra money to go fucking to round 12, guys. You don't get paid extra money.
He did have a.
It's not like you need the overtime.
He had a tough fight against Yard, so we have to see what he looks like. I mean,
battered Yard.
All right, so let me ask you this, guys. Let me ask you this, guys. Let me ask you, Gypsy, Mirage, and everybody. Let me ask you this though: if the fight goes, hold on.
I'm talking about his last fight.
Hold on, Mirage.
Who gives a fuck about that? That doesn't even.
All right, hold on, Rickstar. If the Mirage, hold on. If the fight, if Beterbiev wins a decision, are you guys gonna start claiming that Beterbiev's on the downside, going downhill?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a downside.
If you can't get that guy out of there.
Yeah,
that's how bad Smith is. That's how bad Smith is, in your opinion.
Don't go back to the age.
Okay, so he's
it just depends
on
how the fight goes. If Caleb Smith could take his punches and survive and could win a couple of rounds, loses on a decision, then depending on how the fight is, if he gets a lot of shots and he's still there, then maybe he's not on a downslide and Caleb Smith is better than we thought he was. But if he's battering him and he can't, and he takes him out, I mean he's not on a slide. I mean,
so you really think Callum Smith
there's no slide in there.
You really think Callum Smith is not even that good? You guys are saying Callum Smith shouldn't even be in the ring with him. You're saying Callum Smith shouldn't even be in the ring with him if he goes 12 rounds. Then that just shows you that's what you're saying, basically. Like he's so bad.
I do believe that he belongs in the ring with him, but I don't think he is going to survive with them. That's a totally different thing.
Okay, can any of you guys highlight what is Callum Smith like? There are some people saying he's putting a scapegoat shit already. Some statement. I don't know what the statement was. Can any of you guys put some light to that?
It was about the A-type. The A-type.
Atypical. Yeah, there's some weird little thing in Beterbiev's piss. It was a little green.
Yeah, he's already got an excuse already, and it was normal.
Eddie Hearn's bullshit. That's all Eddie Hearn's bullshit.
Or you don't think he's on something?
No, I remember. Actually, I remember.
They're all on something, bro. Everybody's on something.
Obviously, he's on something, bro. His fingers got a 6-pack.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's ripped. He's shredded, man. He's shredded.
His fucking fingers got six pack. Of course he's on shit.
Is it a six pack or eight pack? I can swear it's an eight pack, bro.
That's a good one. His fingers got a six pack. I just want to see
just to make it look bad.
Hey, but look, it's your responsibility not to get caught, all right?
If Callum
Similar
Smith
to like Jared Miller and fucking AJ, same shit. You think AJ ain't on shit, but they shitted on Jared Miller for apparently he's on drugs, man. He took a lot of shit, brother. Like,
He's on everything, bro. Yeah.
they're both on the shit, bro. They're both on fucking juice.
You can't get caught,
But
though,
one-
bro. That's the rule. That's the rule, bro. You can't
Yeah.
get caught.
Boys,
Exactly.
you know what? If you're getting punched in the head and that's your fucking job, irrespective of the fucking the payout, you got to be on some shit, man. There's no fucking way, man.
I just want to know if Callum Smith can go to fucking deep water with Beterbiev. I don't think that happens. I think inactivity one's going to play a massive part.
Canelo's power was able to keep him shelled up. What do you think this guy's power is going to do to him? It's
Put him
just
in
going to be too
Yeah,
much.
but
I got him in
some people
I got
are
him
saying
in
that
five, inside
Callum
five.
Smith was dehydrated. That's what people are saying.
Yeah, the dehydration,
That's
yeah, it can
excuse,
play a
but that's
factor,
an-
but Canelo's power is nowhere near compared to Arthur's.
And it's also volume. Arthur throws a lot more punches than Canelo. So once he starts unloading, he doesn't let up. He won't give you one punch and let him just back off.
So what are you boys saying? It's gonna go beyond the round 6 or what?
Five.
I think it's a possibility it can go past round 6, maybe 8 because of Arthur's age. He might not put a lot of steam too early.
What if Beterbiev slows down as the fight goes on because of his age?
Yo, boys, did the
I think
yard
Smith
fight
is going to
end at
slow
8?
down too.
Is he as bad as Yard?
But I think Never Sobers does have a point. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Smith does drop him, but I doubt he wins that fight.
Now, Yard was taking punches from the get-go, if I'm not mistaken. His defense is not that great.
He's shoddy, and you could say he's chinny. You could say that Yard is chinny.
Now, is Callum Smith on that same level as Yard, where from the get-go he's going to start getting hit, and by the end...
They're different styles, Bucho. Yard is a different style of fighter.
Yeah.
Caleb Smith is a different style of fighter. I've never really compared these two together, so I can't even tell you. But for sure, skill-wise, Caleb is not in the league of Beterbiev. Beterbiev is closer to Pivel's skill set, surprisingly. Even he doesn't show it, but he is. That's why Pivel is scared of fighting that dude. Now, unless there's a big money to be made, which there is with the Saudis fight. So now he's going to take that chance. Because he's dangerous, man. He's got skill and he's got power. It's ridiculous with that dude.
Well, that's the thing. The situation or the problem that could arise in this fight, it's not a matter of who's tougher and who will break down first. They both got power, so it could be a very explosive fight initially in the beginning, to where you don't want to run in there and just trade, because if you get caught when a fighter is fresh, and this is both fighters, anyone who lands first can be the one to land last. So that might dial down the pace where you just don't want to go in there throwing bombs. You're going to want to take 1 round, 2, 3 rounds to figure shit out and be very judicious, very cautious. One punch at a time, recover that arm, get back on your defense, and wait to throw again to read the action, the back and forth. You don't want to go in there recklessly if you're Callum Smith, and also if you're Beterbiev, you don't want to go in there because you can get caught. So it's not like you're going to wear down that quickly, because you're going to take it step by step. You're going to ease into the fight. Trade 1 shot at a time, 2 shots at a time. You're not just going to go rock 'em, sock 'em, bombs away. Because if you're Beterbiev and you do that too, you're getting knocked out. That's what I'm saying.
But that's exactly what he did against Joe Smith Jr. That's exactly the tactic he had against Joe Smith Jr.
Yeah, but just because
he was moving, bro.
Just because one last thing, just because it happened one time, because what have you done for me? Just because something happened one time doesn't mean that that's the end all and be all pattern to that's always going to happen from here on out. That's never the case. I never seen that. When one thing happens one time, it just keeps happening like cookie cutter all the time after that. For most of the time, it doesn't play out like that. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
I
you can
agree.
actually.
Well, I agree, and it's like in the pattern he's talking about is somebody like Amir Khan. We saw Amir Khan always on spaghetti legs, but with Smith, we've only really seen him hurt when he was trying to just stay down at the weights too long. And one thing that Steve Kim said, who's been in the gym with him recently, leading up to this fight, is that his ass and his legs are under him. And you know, weight is everything, man. You know, these guys always play the weight games, and he was one of those guys that he stayed down too long for the payday, and he paid the price, but he got paid. So I think it's an even tell, man. We saw better.
A glass chin, guys.
Yeah, I mean that's
Amir
the pattern.
Khan had a glass jaw, bro.
Yeah, but we've seen Beterbiev hurt by what's
Yeah, but even the dude with the glass jaw
Smith hasn't really been
remember him
knocked
against
out, hurt.
Chino Maidana, one of the hardest punchers at lightweight, welterweight. Even the dude with the glass jaw can surprise you to have an unbelievable chin on
Honestly,
night.
I can see. Bro, Smith was getting tagged up by Ryder. Like, how much harder do you think Beterbiev hits compared to Ryder? Let's be real.
Oh yeah.
I think Anthony Yard hits harder than.
If you isolate the punching power in comparison, yeah, you can say that, but it wasn't just that John Ryder couldn't hit as hard as Beterbiev. It's his ability to take a punch and get on the inside. Because when you got a great chin, that allows you to do more. It's like Julio Cesar Chavez. Julio Cesar Chavez wasn't like, if you ask the fighters, it wasn't regarded for having the hardest punch among the lightweights. It's his chin. Allowed him to get on your chest and do more than other fighters could. That's what's going on for Ryder. That's why he does okay. Because his chin allows him to do things that many other fighters can't.
Yeah, and the thing
but I think he has better technique compared to Ryder. So I think.
Gonzalo, let me ask you this question.
That was a really good point by Gonzalo right there.
Ryder.
Yo, Gonzalo, if Callum Smith is you're rating his punching power. Let's say speculatively, eye test at a 6. Beterbiev's fucking punching power at least has to be 8. Okay. One thing also in regards to ergonomics, Callum has a longer reach. He's taller, 6'3", so he has to keep a bit more distance to get that full power to fucking Beterbiev. So, but if he has to close in, Beterbiev's going to be closer anyways. You know what I'm saying? But who has the higher fucking more power? I'm rating fucking Beterbiev at least 2 points higher than that of the Callum. So
Beterbiev,
I'm gonna flesh that out a little bit.
because he throws nice hooks and he throws very nice uppercuts. The element of surprise that it doesn't really it doesn't rely so much on the speed. It relies on the technique.
Yeah,
the
technique and timing.
Timing, the power, and just like landing them with knowing, subtlety. With Callum Smith, it's like an arrow. He's tall. He got leverage. If he catches you at the right distance from the mid to the outside, and he throws that punch and is catching some speed as the arrow's going forward, especially if he throws it straight, it's going to catch some momentum, and that's where
Ultimately, what Gonzalo is saying is that Beterbiev has a heavy hand, and Caleb Smith does not have a heavy hand. Caleb Smith is more of a rangy, momentum, wiry punch. That's what he is.
Yeah, and also
So I'm gonna add,
be it like the inside, like the uppercuts. If he keeps the elbow pinned to the side of his body, he's throwing all the torque on them short uppercuts. He throws all the body behind it, all the weight as he turns the waist, kind of like Marvin Hagler. You keep that elbow pinned to your side. Now it's like like a little fucking like the thing that you lift your car up. What do you call that? Jack. The momentum, the power the torque that you throw in that punch is everything because your elbow is tucked to your side. So everything coming behind that.
Hey Gonzo, the other thing you have to realize is that the real estate it's all about the real estate, right? And we saw with the Espinoza fight down in Florida, Top Rank likes to have the tiny rings because it always makes for better fights. So if they come in with that little 16 by 16 type ring, man, that's going to shrink the odds for me.
As far as let me ask you, just to put a few points out there, right? So when have you seen Callum Smith just talk about some basic technique? I brought up the fact that he can't fight out of the high guard. His high guard is basically like Oscar Valdez, but worse because he's 6'3". He's got a lot of real estate to cover with that high guard. He doesn't have an active high guard. It's a static high guard. He can't punch out of the high guard. So let me ask you, Gonzalo, seriously, let me ask you this. So when have you seen Callum Smith reset, take a half a step back, and then lay the right hand forward. Never. You've either seen him in defense or you've seen him in offense. That means, by the way, Arthur Beterbiev hooks around the punches a lot. In other words, he breaks down that high guard. That high guard is nothing to him. He mauls and mauls and mauls and doesn't stop. So, but I can't see him, especially because it's related to his footwork, right? Which Callum Smith does not have fast feet, or certainly not coordinated feet that's coordinating. He's either doing one thing or the other, and I have never seen him stop, reset, and then go back out of it, and I've never seen him throw punches out of the high guard. It's one thing or the
That's
other.
the thing. That's why he to a certain extent he got exposed by Canelo, because what you're saying, he can't do the offense and the defense simultaneously, or like go from one to transition from one to the other rather quickly. And that's why he kept because Canelo opponents tend to do that, but right here you could see it more, where he froze and couldn't decide what to do because Canelo kept him guessing with his punch selection and the variety of his attacks. You don't know where it's coming from Canelo, so he kept them on defense. Now, if he's able to read a certain pattern from Beterbiev, I'm not saying it's going to be easy because the punches are coming 30, they're 13 shots. And there's a certain pattern where he's not showing that much variety as Canelo. Oh, maybe he gets a chance before he gets broken down to time him. And it doesn't mean that he has got to transition that fast. He just got to like get in there and, okay, set a trap for him and catch him. He's got to get lucky too, partly. And it's kind of a puncher's chance for Callum Smith, in my opinion.
From what I remember, Ryder was doing similar to Canelo to a lesser extent. So essentially, he like pre-exposed them even before Canelo.
Another problem is that when Caleb Smith throws punches, he's too heavy on the front foot. So what's going to happen is he's going to get countered.
It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a good warm-up fight to the Bivol fight, man. I think this is the better warm-up fight. Tune-up fight for that fight for Beterbiev than Bivol. Hopefully the Saudis throw the money at it and make it happen next.
Oh no, they will. They will.
I don't know. Bivol needs to stop being a diva. And
they've got no choice at this point. At this juncture,
let me ask you boys this: not to be making a parallel between the two fighters, which is Joe Smith Jr. and Callum Smith, but their body dimensions, are they almost like Joe Smith is? Pardon you, pause. He's a bit beefier than that of Callum. Callum's a bit wiry, but are they almost the same dimensions? What's the deal?
No, I think I don't know, but I think Joe Smith is a bigger, like wider type of guy. Like he's shorter than Caleb, but he's wider. I think he's a stronger dude compared.
Is he 6'1"?
Callum is more like Tommy Hearns.
Yeah, he's like I think he's 6'2", if I'm not mistaken.
Joe Smith.
Joe, yeah, Joe. 6'4", 6'3", something like that.
Smith does have bigger
dimensions. He's got to build with those legs. He's got to build like
Jr.
Tommy Hearns.
He's just tall.
Like
he's
Tommy
taller.
Hearns.
But he's thinner.
He's taller and he has more reach.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the case, man. He's one of those. He got a good payday out of it, but I think people are going to be surprised at what he brings. I just hope that Beterbiev wins because we just want to see that Russian fight.
No, 1,000%.
I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Smith fights him. He probably knocks out Caleb Smith. I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't really compared the two, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does.
No, but with that 3-inch, 4-inch differential between Joe Smith Jr. and Callum, so what are you guys saying? What are you guys thinking that Callum's gonna have to bring himself down lower for a punch?
No.
Well, when he uses his jab, he does definitely have to aim towards the chest and not the face, right? He can't be headhunting with his jab.
He's got to fight tall, but Caleb Smith doesn't fight tall. He always shrinks down to his opponent's level. He never fights tall.
Because if I recall the Joe Smith fight, Beterbiev hardly fucking went to the body. He just he just wrecked his head.
Dude, Joe Smith got outboxed and knocked out. The Anthony Yard, he walked him down. Anthony Yard is the guy that what's his name? Beterbiev walked down. Joe Smith, he boxed him. He was, if you watch the fight, he wasn't trying to stay in the pocket for too long with Joe Smith. Joe Smith has pop, that's why. He was trying to catch him, counter him, because Joe Smith's boxing skills is not so great. It's not even great at all, actually. It's not. It's like subpar level Joe Smith. But he has pop. He's dangerous because he's got pop. That's why he kept him away and he caught him coming in.
But if you're Joe Smith, like, why did you go in there exchanging bombs with? Because he got power too, Joe Smith. But why'd you go in there exchanging bombs with Beterbiev in the first round? Take your time. I'm just saying, you don't want to do that if you're Callum Smith either, and if you're Beterbiev as well. Because I don't think Beterbiev is just gonna do that because he's got experience. And a lot of times, if you come in cold, you can get caught and cracked on your chin and dropped on your ass. I mean, you just gotta like warm up to the situation, warm up to the pattern of the fight, understand where the openings are at, and so forth for both dudes. Because if you go in there, you're getting knocked out. Which either guy does that, it could be any of those dudes.
Hey, I got on here a little late, but are y'all gonna cover the gossip for like as far as like the other issues, like Spence saying that he was hurt with his eyeball and all that good stuff? I don't know if y'all got to that already. I've been dying to talk about that.
About what?
Who?
Spence. The whole thing coming out this week where he had the eye patch and that's it. Like, I've been dying to fucking just dive into that, man. I'm just.
Go ahead.
You're talking about the fake pirate about to retire or something?
Yeah. The whole way. Now he's making more excuses, and now there's his fans are coming back out of the woods, then they're making all these excuses. Oh, it's not an excuse because it's 6 months later. Or 5 months later. You're like, it's still.
Wait, hold on. What's Spence saying?
You didn't. It's been viral the last few days. It's viral. He came out with that eye patch after his cataract surgery, saying that's why he was getting hit with so many jabs and hook off the front. Like, pretty much making more excuses.
I know it's an excuse, but
we'll keep you on the pad, bro.
We're talking boxing, bro. Because really, to be honest, they're not excuses. It's the truth. The dude is fucking like compromised in so many ways. The reason he didn't say nothing about it before is because, dude, they waited this dude. They made this dude wait for 5 years. Eventually, they wanted to fight to make the millions. And he's not a complainer in that regard. He will fight, especially when there's money on the line, I believe. But obviously, he wasn't the same after the car crash. Now,
I was going to say the same thing, Gonzalo. Same thing.
I agree, but to rebut that, I know a lot of fighters, including like Ishe Smith and Bud themselves, have been saying that they go through the eye exams, like deep eye exams, before the fights. So he's like, "Yo, man," he's like, I need 2 surgeries too. Does that make me, compromised? So it's a crazy
remember,
thing, man.
He had the eye injury. He pulled out of the Pacquiao fight, and that was before.
And that was the orbital. Yeah, but that was orbital. That wasn't a cataract.
No, that was a retina. That wasn't an orbital.
Oh yeah, it's related. It's related. His face is broken. Even the orbital bone on the outer surface, the cheek. I mean, it's prone to cuts because he ripped off part of his face. He skated on the asphalt. I think his face got dragged like I don't know how many feet as he was sliding on the concrete or whatever.
Yeah, he flew out of a fucking cannon, man, and landed on the
I'm not an optometrist, but I'm just wondering why didn't he get it right after the fight? Why did he wait now when we're expecting like news on it for the rematch to finally get it over with? But I think Bud pretty much.
I still respect that shit, man. I still respect it. He went into a car crash, almost died technically, came back, still fought at the top level, man.
I don't respect that. He's using it as an excuse.
If there's a guy if there's a guy that could pull out all the excuses in the book, it would be him. Not like Deontay Wilder, who could pull out 8, 9, 10 fucking excuses.
Nah, he made.
This is like but this guy actually has them. He has them. Training in the Texas heat, drinking the alcohol, inactivity, the car crash, taking the medication after the car crash will make you slower.
Are those really
Gonzalo, you talking about alcohol, right? Canelo's a drinker too, though.
He's actually the ones that Walder makes up, and we know our life. this dude's got a built-in his fucking resume. They are true. He was a perfect dude. If he lost, you could actually bring out all the excuses.
You're talking about
saying it's okay,
bro. His excuses are excuses.
It's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying
excuses.
No, seriously,
I don't know,
seriously.
man. It's hard to believe.
it's not like it's a lie. It's not like he pulled up.
No, it's funny the way you said it. That's all.
It's true.
It's hard to believe.
It's the truth.
You know?
It's the truth. His
It's true.
excuses are excuses. The easy route, the fucking wrong side of the street, like dumb shit I've never heard that shouldn't be an excuse. That motherfucker made up.
I think he's trying to get out of
You know what it was? You know what it was? Ultimately, it was just marination.
100% right. There could be a gray area. He's got all the legitimate and all the bad ones too.
Well,
Like, when have you ever heard an excuse? Like, when have you ever heard another fighter blame a promotional company other to duck a fighter?
I've heard of it before.
Yeah,
Mike.
Check it out, bro. Look, ultimately with that fight, bro. It was Spence and his people always knew that they couldn't beat Crawford, bro. That beatdown he gave him, this shit would have happened either way. So, you know what I mean? Whatever excuses, bro. He's trying to get back his ego. He's trying to build up that rematch, try to get one more payday. He'll get his ass whooped again if they fight, even if he's healthier.
All right, guys, let Jim
build his ego. Let him go to 154 and get his ass kicked by Tim Tszyu.
Jimmy,
okay, let me burn. I agree with Sober just said in a way because he has to tell himself that stuff because it's all about egos, right? But is it also a reason to get out of the rematch because it's 5 months later and you're barely getting it now, bro? We thought we were getting an announcement soon. And now, how long we gotta wait now?
Let's be realistic.
Is it possible that you guys don't think it's possible that he might have got that injury in sparring? Like getting ready.
Look.
With guys that have been playing games with like him and the way the PBC rolls with their excuse making and the way they stall fights.
He does want a rematch.
I'll tell you this, look, bro. Look, it was already word around the PBC people at least with the TMT camp, bro, that something was up with Spence because a year before that fight with him and Crawford, everyone y'all heard Rolly what he was saying. I want to fight Spence. Y'all don't believe me? I'll knock his ass out. Hey, bro, he could have knocked that Spence out. That showed up against Crawford, so he was probably getting his ass whooped in the gym already. There's already probably rumors of him being damaged goods, and that all led into what helped stretch out the fight even further. So
yeah, but let's look at it realistically. Right now, there's no way from a business perspective that this fight can generate money, right? Because we all saw what the fuck happened to him, right? So who the fuck is gonna want to re-up and fucking and pay for a fucking even faster fucking beatdown, you know? So, but in Spence's defense, look, if any of us got into a car wreck and survived that shit, and our only occupation is that of fucking combat sports, is fighting, right? If anyone dangles...
What was that excuse when he fought Dog, or what was that excuse when he fought fucking Ugas? Oh my God.
Hold on 1 second. But if anyone throws 20 to 25 million in front of us, we're going to get in the ring. That's a fact. That's a fact.
You guys are nice guys, look, bro. You guys are good people, man. Y'all are nice. Y'all give so much benefit of the doubt. Like I admire y'all for that. I'm kind of a cynic.
Yo, guys, like he got injured, right? You said, what about Ugas and all this other fights? Well, that was how many years? Like a year or 2 years back before the Ugas? I mean, before the Crawford fight, right? If I'm not mistaken.
But it was after the accident.
Fight. No, the Ugas. I know it was after the accident, the Ugas fight, but how long was it from the Ugas fight to the Crawford fight? That's what I want to.
Over a year.
I'm asking.
Man, I see Gaethje with head trauma and still win fights. I seen Tony Ferguson with head trauma and still win fights. Like, what are his stupid excuses, man?
No, you're exactly right. Listen, that car accident had nothing. He probably takes more damage to his head in sparring. He was so blind drunk that night. He flew from the car. He was never even out cold. He was never even knocked out. He was talking.
He was a rubber band. Bro. He talked off the ground.
Exactly. He talked. He was awake and talkative the night of the accident. He was talkative right through when they brought him in. He had to be, knocked out to go through the thing. But he had no skull injuries, no fractured skull, nothing like that. He, got some road rash.
But if you read between the lines, listen, he's trying to be as obvious as he can about it now. And I'm going to get into that even a little bit more, what I just heard recently. Well, actually last night. But his also atop of that tweet, because out of nowhere, he came out in a Twitter thread. He went nuts because people went at him about the excuses for the eye. This is the one that made 4 days ago that says it all. All that said, you can kill that retire shit, though. Yup, my ass. Yeah, I got my ass beat. Shit was way past due. And this is what he thought was funny. Catch this. I didn't even exactly live like a boxer for the most part, LOL. Telling you the same thing he said in his first interview after it. I get drunk and everything. Listen, I'll tell you what I was told. He is a straight up lean junk box. Drinks that shit, that liquid heroin like it's coming out of business. Somebody posted a fucking photo of him the night before the car accident. He was at a strip club. So fucked up he could barely stand up. Slurring his words. Not alcohol. Absolutely.
I heard something else, Jimmy.
Not bad.
Yeah, well, and,
I like.
yeah, dude, I got the video.
Jimmy, you talking about that? And I'm gonna tell you something
and he was
about
running
Canelo.
from a group
I'm
of
gonna tell you
guys.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm talking. You're talking about the night of the accident. Yeah, he was running from some group of guys.
Group of guys because he banged one of them chicks and gave them STDs or some shit like that.
Yeah, I heard that it was some shit. He was being chased that night too. But the night before, he was wiped out in the car accident, right? You figure you're a professional athlete. Okay, chalk it up. One night, no. The night before, he was blind drunk and on drugs. And he's been saying it without saying, well, he's been coming out and saying, even in that tweet, I wasn't exactly living like a professional athlete. Every time that kid was seen in public, every time, like Mario Lopez talked about, because every time I see him out, I go up to him, hey, Chip, how you doing? Guy couldn't even focus on me. He's so fucking drunk. I mean, the dude's a drunk. And on top of that, you throw the cocaine, the lean. And the reason his girlfriend put that shit on video, on Instagram, was to try to get him to see like public pressure to check his ass into rehab. That's how bad he fucked up he is. And if he doesn't retire, I don't give a fuck who he fights next. You watch. Like Igas Klimas there with fucking, the kid that lost the fucking both Ortiz and Crawford would probably spark him out now. Listen, alcohol fucks you. You can get away with that in the men's league, in a beer league, but not as a professional athlete competing at the fucking elite level. It shows.
Jimmy, you're talking about alcohol. Yeah. I gotta say this to Jimmy, bro. You guys are talking about alcohol. Not too long ago, I mean, we know that Canelo got drunk in a party and started acting a fool at one point, but I didn't know about this. Apparently, I picked up this new wife's. I'm a taxi driver, so I picked this new wife's because he's the second wife that he's married to. Godfather's siblings, not siblings, kids. I'll just say that much. And I was surprised they were from Guadalajara. Like I was like, you like bullshitting me. No, like we're from Guadalajara. I'm like, you guys know Canelo? It's like, yeah, we know Canelo. He's like a neighbor. I'm like, what kind of house does he have? He's got like a ranch and everything. I'm like, oh shit, okay, these people know. They're probably right next to him. And they're like, yeah, he's I'm like, what kind of a guy is he? He's like, oh man, he's hard to get. He's just a loner. He doesn't like to hang around with people. Like he keeps his own thing. And he's a bit of an alcoholic. That's what they said. He likes to drink. When he fucking gets wasted.
Damage over the courses of their careers, right? They take so much damage that basically, at the end of it, you know, they it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Spence can't function without a shot of booze in the morning, like he gets the DTs at this time.
Yeah, I'm talking about Canelo here, bro. Canelo is a bit of an alcoholic, but he doesn't drink as like how Jimmy was talking about every single fucking day. But like when he gets wasted, he gets wasted, like
who doesn't drink in
like,
Mexico? Let's just be honest.
Right.
Yeah, but when it's time to fight, though, I'm assuming Errol's the same shit. When it comes down to fighting, training camp, they let go of all that shit, and they don't do anything. And in Canelo's case, he complete solitude. Like, doesn't want to see no one. Doesn't fuck with anybody.
So you just like
even in that promo
like,
to the Charlo fight, even in that promo,
or what? Man?
No, this is like real life of who Canelo is from the people that are close by.
in the promo leading up to the Charlo fight, you could actually see that in the sense that they were showing Charlo around like, I'm just doing this for my family. And okay, you know, we know what he's doing for. He's grabbing as much money as he possibly can. Then he's going bunker. We know he's out of the game. You'll never see Charlo again. And so Canelo's basically like winding down his career. And you could tell, you know, these guys, they got into trouble all these years because they were exposed, right? So Mike Tyson was exposed to partying and didn't know how contracts work and all this other stuff. So what Al Heyman did for them is to get as many fighters, as much money as he could, and kind of control the market in that way. And now it's all over. You won't see any of these PBC guys except for David Benavidez, whose career will be winding down at this juncture. A couple more fights maybe, and that's it. Charlo, Canelo, the same thing. That's it for him. Either way, we'll go on a little longer, but not much longer. And basically, it's like, okay, we're set. You know, we're set. We've got our businesses in Japan, and Canelo has his business in his hotel in Guadalajara or whatever it is, and he's got a certain amount of people on his ranch, and he's got his product endorsements, you know, in Mexico, and he's done. He's done. All of this has been going to this point where they protected certain fighters and their reputations. In the past, you couldn't protect their reputation.
I asked him, does he have any friends? Does Canelo have any friends? He's like, no, he got no friends. He just keeps people on the side. The guy is like a complete loner. He's a mean motherfucker too. Well, there's nothing wrong with that shit, bro.
Well, maybe he's not a loner. Maybe he's just a lone wolf.
Yo, can I add something to that?
No problem with that shit, bro. That's his thing.
Let me add something to what you were saying about him being an alcoholic, bro. When he did that Kissinger interview where he talked about his brother being kidnapped and stuff before one of his fights, when that was revealed and stuff, I watched that interview and he had like a cup of wine in his hand, and then afterwards the interviewer did some questions off the chat, and I asked him how many cups of wine did it take for Canelo to start acting tipsy, and he said Canelo came in with the drink in his hand. So I was like, and that shit was like early in the morning, the interview, bro. So like, so this fool drinks when he wakes up. So
yeah, bro, he's an alcoholic. But that's what I'm saying. When you talk about Errol Spence, I think with any kind of damage he received that altered the outcome. I mean, not altered the outcome, but like whatever he was supposed to perform against Terrence Crawford, we didn't see. Is primarily not because of the alcohol. It's mostly because of the car accident. The car accident is the one that really fucked his whole body up. That's the one that really damaged him. The alcohol played a factor, but not as much as the car accident.
He would have gotten a car accident without the alcohol, though. So
that's true.
Why do you say that, though? But why would you say
his ass kicked
though?
anyway? He would have gotten his ass kicked anyways.
He didn't get any head injury.
He would have gotten his ass kicked anyways. You want to know why? Because of Prime Spence ducked fucking Crawford. Like,
you know what?
What are we saying?
I think the ducking thing, bro. Like we're getting out of hand with the ducking thing. I thought it was the same thing.
I think you're getting out of hand.
Think so. No. I thought he was ducking him too, bro. For a minute. Yeah. I'm not saying that, bro. Like I'm saying that I think what he was trying to do was trying to get an edge over Terrence Crawford. See, I got 3 belts because Terrence is a guy that coming up in 2 weight divisions was undisputed. He's probably going to be, the A side. These brothers, they always worry about that A side, B side shit. All these brothers, if you know what I'm talking about, they worry about it. That's why that Wilder AJ shit never took place when it should have taken place. They always worry about that fucking crap. So that's the reason why he went try to get all them belts to be the A side over Terrence Crawford. That's
to be fair with AJ, there was no A and B side. It was more like an A and D side.
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm not saying anything about that. That's true, but that's the complaint. That was always you should come to my backyard. No, you should come to my backyard. You should fight in my backyard. Why would I come to your backyard so you could have all the advantages?
Man, Wilder couldn't even sell his own backyard. Like literally, there was a time in his career where he could not even sell his own backyard.
That's definite, bro.
In the chat, we have
true.
SSC with a super chat. He says, Viva Mexico, cabrones. 100%. All right. I appreciate that, SSC. Thank you for contributing to the show.
another thing, man, you lost.
I posted that. I just gonna say I posted the video. It's a 10-second clip on the Open Lines Discord of him. Watch how slow he blinks and shit. That's not alcohol. That boy's fucking whacked. That kid's got all kinds of problems and shit. Crazy.
Yo, boys, there's no fucking reports from Saudis in regards to or training camps for fucking Fury or Usyk, eh?
Yeah, well, how do you not know he's not drinking syrup, Jimmy?
Give it time. Something's brewing in the background.
No, that's what I was saying. I think he's like the lean. That's what people are saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I heard the rumors the lean. I think you told me that before. I heard that first from you. Then I heard from other people. The same people I heard there's a lot of juice out of that gym, and they were pretty much on the money on that too.
From whose gym?
That gym in Dallas that they all train. Well, Texas. There was a lot of juice
in Texas
out of that place.
I gotta
this
say
guy on
something
Twitter
about
posting about it that claimed to be
training there, and he's seen supposedly Spence on that sipping on some syrup or whatever the fuck song goes.
Yes, nice. I was gonna say one thing with you guys. You know the Parker that beat Wilder, right? Was it a couple weeks back? You guys gotta understand that guys like Parker and Andy Ruiz, even Luis Ortiz, but Luis Ortiz never got the shot, and it was his fault, are world beaters. They are world beaters. They're not elite, but they're world beaters, bro. I mean, look what Andy Ruiz was at. He had almost a draw, or he almost won, I would say, against Parker. He should have probably taken that W. He should have took that W against Parker, but that was a close fight. That wasn't a one-sided beatdown. But what did he do to AJ in the first fight? He fucking annihilated him. There's not a single round that AJ won in that fucking fight. So
I don't think that's
he's a potential world beater. Let's just say it that way. Let me think it potential world beater. Let's call it not a world beater, but a potential world beater. Let's just say that much.
It's pathetic, though.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I would say that it broke away. These guys are the kind of guys that are outside the prototypical mold. So you got Fury, you got Wilder, and you got Ruiz. And you're absolutely right about when I saw Andy Ruiz, he beat this Russian guy in an outdoor fight, Andy Ruiz, and he was training with Freddie Roach, right? And when I saw him fight the Russian guy, I was like, who the hell is this fat man? Covered in tats and shit. Who the hell is this guy to beat that big Russian dude? And then when I saw him against Joseph Parker, he gave Joseph Parker fits and starts. I mean, Joseph Parker was known for his chin, right? Joseph Parker could take a punch, man. A big Samoan dude with a New Zealand guy. He could definitely, and he could hit hard, Joseph Parker, Not the greatest defense, not the fastest dude in the world. But he could slam you, Joseph, And I don't know, he got punch shy later in his career after AJ, Joseph could throw. Joseph was always top 10, kind of on the outside looking in. Always
Joseph
top 10, though.
had decent defense as well. He's got good head movement too, but he was lacking that. In this fight with Wilder, I noticed that he kind of brought that back, but not exactly. It's not like the head movement that he had back in the day, where he would kind of like Canelo-ish, just like he would ride the punch.
He was left and right. He bobbed and weaved.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, Parker got that. Parker got that hometown.
He brought in a little bob and weave in there. In other words, he was bringing in the kind of 11-2 back and forth, and it was a boring ass fight, but he won, right? It was a boring ass fight, not a lot of contact, but still he did what he had to do, and I was kind of like, well, why didn't he ever do that before?
I was surprised. Why did he do that against that when he lost to Dylan White, bro. I was surprised when he lost to Dylan White. That was a surprising thing for me, because Dylan made it a dirty ass fight. It was in his own backyard. I was actually pretty surprised that he lost to that dude.
Also, guys, I just want you guys know too that Bevel has already signed a contract for the Bevel fight. They're waiting on Beterbiev.
Oh, he's not been a diva no more?
What's that?
He's not being a diva no more.
You'll never hear from these guys after that. Once they do that Bivol Beterbiev, these guys would go off into the sunset.
I know that he signed it about 6 weeks ago when it was first brought up. Beterbiev, I don't know if he's doing
it's been brought up many times.
Smith right now.
No, he's just waiting until the fight is done, Jimmy. He's gonna fight.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Some guys are superstitious and they don't want to sign a contract until the fight they're training for. Which is typical. Most guys don't usually do that, but the contract's already signed. It was a contract offer that Bivol wrote, Bob wrote up, and I was going to say Bivol it's already been signed. So
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. The fight is supposed to take place in March, apparently, but it probably won't take in March. It will probably take in like summertime, because even though Beterbiev is gonna knock out, in my opinion, Caleb Smith, we still might get some damages and shit that he needs to recover off of.
He always injures himself. Yeah. He always injures himself in every fight. Why it takes so long. Yeah, he trains too hard with heavy weights, and I think that's the reason why he always hurts himself.
But he's been doing that same regiment for probably like over 15 years. That's going to break you down.
And I guess go back to Russia and take that juice again.
The Saudis are putting up the money so that it negates all the fucking excuses for the fight not to happen. Respect to Russia and all this other crap that the roadblocks were being put up. So now that the Saudis are going to pay for it, I guess there's no problem.
All those what was that series boxing thing, the heavyweight showdown or whatever that we watched from box. What was that called?
What?
Which what?
What was that called? The last Saudi show that we just watched. It was called the Heavyweight Showdown or something like that. Or
the one with Fury and friends.
Day of Reckoning.
That whole thing was a preview. That thing was a preview to what's coming up next. That whole damn thing was a preview to what's coming up. Whatever they're coming up next is whoever won those fights is going to do one more fight and probably wrap it up.
Oh, you guys heard? Oh, you mentioned that, brother. Like, thanks for you mentioning that shit. You guys heard that Zhilei Zhang is going to fight Wilder?
Yeah. Well, what, Wilder?
Yeah, they're setting that shit up. They're setting Wilder and Zhilei Zhang.
No.
That's a cherry pick, bro. Why is he doing that?
No, I don't know, bro. They're doing it. It's just a big fight, I guess.
Makes sense because Wilder. What was
their mind is a big fight.
Wilder and Joshua wasn't going to happen anymore, right? Wilder and Joshua was up, and then Joshua was going to fight Ngannou in a big money fight, I guess. So what's left for Wilder? What is left for Wilder?
According to the Prince, before Hearn even left, like he came out of an interview, goes, "I just left the Prince, and let me assure you, there is no appetite for the Wilder Joshua fight." He said,
"It makes no sense."
Yeah, he's like, they're not going to offer the money. Because they just not only, like, if he went out there and said he put in a war and lost, that'd be one thing. But at the end of all that, the talk in Saudi Arabia, especially around the money, was how disgusted they were with Wilder's performance. So Wilder shot himself in the foot. He'll be lucky to get fucking any offer right now to fight anybody.
Jimmy, I'm telling you right now, that fight is being signed. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's being talked about. Zhilei Zhang and Wilder. It's in the works. That's I can tell you that much.
They'll do that in China.
Yeah, knowing Wilder fighting someone great too.
Knowing Wilder, he's gonna want to get overpaid.
They'll have it in Saudi. They'll do it in Saudi. I don't think they're not. China's not interested in shit like that. China's interested in world domination. Yeah, they're not interested in that shit. They don't care about sports. They're interested in world domination.
What are you talking about? They don't care about. They didn't care about sports. They go bat shit over every single basketball player they put in. Anytime they
I understand that. I understand that. But they're interested. They're interested in opening up as many ports to Chinese ships as possible. You know,
they're interested in being number one. He's got a point.
Okay. They're interested in opening up and building up infrastructure in Africa. They're not interested in fucking sports, man. Believe me, he'll get a boxing gym in China and people will train there and come to see him, and they'll pay for him to come to see him. But the Saudis are the one putting this shit together. Trust me on that. They're the ones taking over international boxing.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he fights Wilder. If Wilder fights Zhang, I mean, because he never fought a puncher when he was a younger man. You think he's gonna do it now that he's a millionaire? I seriously doubt that, man. The only fighter he fought who had some crack was Luis Ortiz, but that dude was slow. You could see the punches coming all day. Now, good luck weighing 213 and knocking out a man that is 300 pounds, like Goro from fucking
what he did.
Mortal Kombat.
And look how much success Ortiz had against him. This guy's another southpaw. He's going to be training. I see this already. Wilder's going to miss short with the right hand, and he's going to get a straight left right back. He's going to get knocked out.
It'll be entertaining as long as it lasts. That's all I can say. It'll be entertaining as long as it lasts.
But I'm saying he never risked it. He never risked it when he was younger. Like, how many mandatories, how many punches did he face? Do you think he's going to face a dude with no titles to get hard as fuck and expose him?
Fury's a puncher too.
There's no way. There's no way.
Not Fury's not a puncher.
He's going to take whatever payday he has left and split. But not only the thing about Zhang is that he turns his shoulder over beautifully. And not only that, there's no setup to that left hand. That shit comes straight.
He throws like a jab.
Fucking pure, bro. Yeah, exactly.
I find it hard to believe he would fight Zhang because, I mean, what would be the benefit behind that? There'd be no money for him to make. But what money? I mean, what, $1 million, $2 million?
I don't know. You get another $1 million. It's in your pocket. It's in your pocket to pay your taxes.
He's gotten over 100 million. He's gotten 30 million, 30 million, 20 million, 20 million.
Doesn't make sense.
You know what I mean? Like, is he gonna even take a training camp? His training camp will cost him probably $500,000.
This next big fight.
I can't see him just taking that fight for that kind of money. That's the thing. He wants 10 million plus for anything.
Guys, the next one is Parker versus Philip Hergovich. I forgot.
Zhilei Zhang should be higher ranked than Wilder because Wilder's been losing he had a 1 round knockout over Helenius, but if you in the totality of his last 3-4 fights, he's been getting sparked the fuck out. So he's on the counts like big time. He's like a never was. He's a never was.
I'm telling you, Zhang is the ace guy.
He should be, considering the size too, higher rated than Wilder amongst the heavyweights, maybe top 3 or 4.
His whole career is manufactured. Here's a little stat about Wilder a lot of people don't realize. Usually when you're a professional fighter, usually by your 7th or 8th, 9th fight, you start to fight in ranked guys, meaning ranked. Could be anything from 0, which is number 1 ranked, up to the 500th, because it goes up to 500. They only rank up to 500. In his first 20 professional fights, he fought 4 ranked guys. Here's their rankings: 393rd, 399th, 304, and 489th. All the other 16 guys were unranked. Then his next 12 fights before becoming champion, fighting with Stavern, let me list them out, the 12. 369th ranked, 492nd ranked, unranked, 310th ranked, 357th ranked, unranked, 325 ranked, 136th ranked, and here's the highest ranked person he ever fought prior to Stavern. 43rd ranked, career cruiserweight, way past his prime, dragged up. It was already knocked out by Helenius and Joseph Parker before he fought him. And then he fought a guy 129th ranked, 88th ranked, and 194th. And that's when he fought Stavern. It's I can get you his name right now if you want.
Polish guy,
Jimmy. Don't worry about it.
Is it a Polish dude?
Yes, it was a Polish guy. His name was Sahali Lekovich. 27 wins, 9 losses, knocked out 7 times. 43 ranked, way past his prime, former cruiserweight Lekovich, who was already knocked out by Helenius. Oh, and Brian Jennings. It wasn't Parker. And that was the highest ranked opponent Wilder faced before becoming Stavern, fighting Stavern. So literally, he was a manufactured, hand-picked no-hopers to face. He never fought anybody with any talent in his entire career, avoided everybody until he came across what he thought was a cherry pick with the fucking, a cokehead a light punching cokehead that he thought he was going to be able to walk through. So it goes to show you, a 50-something-year-old Ortiz almost beat him. This dude is trash. And he fooled a lot of people.
I just want to I just want to say
you grew up in
Severn.
an age, Jimmy. Okay, you grew up
Severn
in
was
an
a
age. I
top
grew
5
up
the
in an
first
age
time.
where the
Guys, we
first
have to
thing
talk
you
one at a
did.
time here.
Go ahead. NPR,
Okay, may I go or no? All right. So you grew up in an age. I grew up in an age. I'm almost 60 years old, man. So you grew up in an age where a fighter went from the working class neighborhoods, okay, and he worked his way up through the club circuit, right? After going amateur for a while, not too long, but they worked their way through the club circuit, and then you started traveling a bit, okay? You worked your way through the club circuit, and then you went to Detroit, and then you worked on these kind of regional guys, and you literally worked your ass up in the game. But by the time it got to Mayweather, that shit was over. It became an international, broadcasting live to the world where it's like the dollars were all vertically integrated, and it was either a world-class event or it was nothing. The working class fighter died, where you go from club to journeyman through to contender to the championship. That's the way it used to be for as long as there's been boxing, right? So, but when the working class died, then and everything got international, then it's all the money is only in that top percentage, and they're going to play to that to the hill. They're going to make sure their guys win. They're going to make it impossible for anybody else down low to come up.
But I mentioned Wilder. You guys started talking about Wilder. Forget about Wilder. Parker is going to fight Filip Pergovic. That's
what do you got on that
from me. I don't know.
What do you got on
Parker? I don't like Pergovic at all.
Maybe
thoughts?
Filip, but I have to watch some tape on him to fucking say I don't know, but it's a good one. I'll probably go with Filip right off the top of my head, but I'm not sure with it.
Why would you? But why? Give me your reasons why you would go there. I'm just interested.
Because Filip is he's coming up. He's got something to prove. He's good. He's got good boxing skills. Not the greatest. He's got a good fucking chin. Probably a better chin than Thing does. Actually, for sure, he has a better chin than Parker does. That's one of the few reasons. But there's, I gotta look. Still gotta look. I can't. I don't know, man. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Why would you say that though? The chin thing.
Because he took shots from he took shots from Zilly Zhang.
He's not really. He has good power, but he's more of an accurate puncher. Look at the guy.
He's got decent pop. He doesn't have like huge punching power. I don't know how I would rate his punching
they all
power.
have power. They're heavyweights.
Zile won that fight anyways.
Okay, we can. I don't want to go with that debate of who won that fight with Zilly Zhang and
Zhang won that fight, bro. Let's be real.
Okay, we'll just end it there. Zhang won it for you guys. For me, it's different. But
not talking for me, bro. Most of the world had him. What the fuck you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, that's for me, bro. I don't care what the most of the world is fucking gonna say. That for me, I thought Filip edged it out.
You should have started your sentence with that.
China hater.
Yeah, I'm
China number one.
Why would I start that sentence on that shit, bro? China number one. All right, bro. China number one. Well, with the fight with Filip and Parker, bro, that's gonna be fucking a banger. I'm gonna watch that. That shit is totally worth it. But I think the fight with Parker and Filip is gonna be with the same card as Wilder and Zilly Zhang and maybe even AJ and Nagano. It's gonna be all in one. Still another worthy pay-per-view buy, honestly. Even though the main event is not much of a main event.
Yeah, and it's going to be done by the Saudis again, right?
Yeah, Saudis.
Yeah,
it's cool, man. I'll watch that shit, bro.
They're putting that shit together, man. We gotta. I tip my hat off to the walking carpet tablecloths, man. They got that shit going down, man.
You just got a lot of money to spend. They don't pay taxes in those areas, so think about it.
Whoa.
His name, turkey I'll shake, man. It sounds so funny. You're shaking the turkey. Turkey I'll shake.
I mean, basically, he's going to have, like, I think the Saudis are going to pick up all of whatever comes out of Africa, okay? They're going to pick up the entire continent of Africa in terms of boxing. Think about that shit for a minute. I think they're going to be the centerpiece for boxing of whatever happened in Africa. So if you guys, I don't know who's old enough, but Jimmy probably knows. And basically every African fighter that ever came to America to fight, they robbed them. They basically robbed them and they pushed them back down. But now that the Saudis are running the show in boxing, they're going to be the international center for boxing, and you're going to have, billions and billions of dollars on tap in a way that you never had with just America boxing.
Wasn't Francis robbed in Saudi Arabia?
You're going to have nothing but the biggest of the biggest of the biggest shows and the best talent brought in from all over the globe.
Wait, didn't Fury and Francis fight in Saudi Arabia?
Yep.
Yeah. So Francis got robbed. What do you?
Definitely, yeah, he got robbed. You guys, you just think like that. He got robbed.
Yeah,
he got robbed, bro.
We've had, but you know what? Though we've had fighters have success come from Africa over the years. I mean, Corey Sanders, Sam Peter,
Ngannou. Well, to a
boxers.
point. Right, to a point. But as these countries get richer, which they are definitely going to be doing, man, they have mad wealth in Africa, and they're kind of uniting and shit, man. And when they set up their boxing programs, because they're all like tightly controlled everything over there. When they set up their boxing program, they're going to be putting the best of the best of the best forward. And so these guys haven't been really trained yet. According, they haven't been trained.
Well, that's actually what's the problem. Who's going to train them? Africa is not exactly known for its boxing prowess, so who's going to be training these kids?
You have the best talent in the world.
Ghana has produced a lot of good boxers. Ghana, we were talking about Ike Cortez, somebody in the chat. Yeah, Ghana, I believe it's is that correct if I'm wrong?
Ghana. It also produced Azuma Nelson. There were plenty of African boxers in the past. It wasn't difficult for someone to come from Africa to the UK or Germany. That was always a viable.
It's mostly, like you said, Ghanaians. Like the guy who fought, the Mexican Salvatore Sanchez beat him, and he went on to become a Hall of Famer.
Azuma Nelson in the chat. People are saying
thank you.
Mugabe.
There you go, Bucho. Yeah, he ended up being a great champion, and Sanchez beat him too. I think that would. I hate talking about him. Every time I talk about it, I get bummed out. What could have been 23 years old taken from us. Well,
that was a tragedy because he wasn't an animal like partier or whatever.
No,
it was like
that was his one thing. He loved speed. He
what did
fixed
he
cars.
They all do.
He built
what
his
did
own
he die
cars.
from?
It was a car accident.
Car crash.
Car crash. He had 9 or 11 cars. Half of them he built by hand.
It was
Jimmy,
a
the cars from back in the days, like the Corvettes or the Porsche. I don't know. I think it was a Porsche. They're not as cracked up to be just like the American muscle cars. As far as like the brakes and stuff like that, it's not like the cars nowadays.
Quarter mile cars, brother. They could go fast from 0 to 60 or a straight line, but they weren't made for turning.
Brakes.
Yeah, and he had like Super Bs. He had some nice Mopar Plymouth Hybrid. He had like the Generals. He had a bunch of Mopar stuff and all shit.
Was it a Porsche, Jimmy?
I think that was the car he died in, like his everyday driver. But he had like a bunch of American muscle cars that he like broke down and like rebuilt himself.
Those Porsches are killing machines, bro. Those Porsches are killing machines, bro. There's a lot of
the new Corvettes are worse.
Fucking plastic. The whole body's plastic. Yeah. Well, except 83, they were still metal, but nowadays they're all plastic wrapped around this crash cage.
They're like fucking fiberglass or something.
Yeah, plus he was a fighter, them dudes are like, some of those dudes are like, what's the word, suckers for speed, or they like living on the edge, like.
They're adrenaline junkies. I was about to get into that.
Limit. Yeah, from Scarface, they're fucking going balls out, 100%, 100 miles per hour in their life.
Yeah, well, that's the point. They're adrenaline
yeah.
junkies. Don't you think? They're adrenaline junkies.
Exactly.
So they get out of the ring, they're like, shit,
Well,
like,
that's the reason why so many become cokeheads. Because it's the closest thing they get to that feeling. Yeah.
Right. It simulates the adrenaline.
We're angry and
it's like when you go to war, you come back, you're always missing that the feeling. Like you're not the same because you've seen shit, you've done shit. It's like, okay, I like the rush or I just got used to it. That's why a lot of like veterans go into drugs and stuff.
No, that's exactly what it is.
That's why so many guys in Vietnam did more than one tour. They'd come home. And you know, especially back then, like in World War II, it would take a week. You would go home, you'd rest, you'd all come back on a ship. It would take a week to like kind of cool down. Like my uncle, he was literally in the fucking jungle on a Thursday, right, doing a search and destroy. Saturday morning, he was in front of the TV watching cartoons, and he said it fucking freaked him out. That's why he re-enlisted. He's like, what am I doing? Like, everything freaked him out because they would plop you out of the jungle, put you on a helicopter, take you to fucking Saigon, fly you home.
Yeah,
You're like 3 days, you're home. You're like, what the fuck? So they realized it was too much on them.
Yeah,
The adrenaline went down.
Jimmy, I know what you're talking about. They don't assimilate them back into society well at all. They just throw them back in, like, deal with it, because that's how the military works. They don't give a fuck about you. You actually have no rights once you go in. So they're like, all right, we're done with you. Get the fuck out of here.
I remember when I came back from the army.
Anti-Vietnam vet, right? Like back then, everyone coming back was met with derision.
Yeah, if they're at the airport, he didn't wear his. My grandfather told him, take your uniform off, because the people at the airport are giving like the hippies are yelling at him and shit. But they learned from that. They no longer do that. Now they come back in platoons. They don't come back one at a time the way they were doing.
That they didn't draft those folks, right, Jimmy? Like you have all these able-bodied men right at the airport causing a ruckus. They could have just drafted them right there, but it's interesting.
A lot of them would burn their draft cards, though. You know what I mean? A lot of people would burn their draft cards.
If you were rich and in college, you could do that. If you were
it doesn't matter if they burn the draft cards. If you draft someone and they don't show up, then I think the penalties are pretty severe.
So many people did it. So many people did it. And the FBI was a small fighting force back then. They're really tiny. They weren't equipped to go get everybody. Like back when it first started, Dodge drafters first started doing it. A lot of them were taken off to Canada, but then they came back. They realized, they called home. Has anybody come to get me? And they're like, no. They realized they didn't have so many people dodged a draft that they didn't have the equipment to go get them, the personnel.
Of course.
I was saying, I remember when I was in the army, bro. When I came back, I was in Iraq for like a year. When I came back, bro, I was driving like a fucking maniac. I remember I was like 23, 24, bro. I didn't give a rat's ass about my life whatsoever, bro. If I ended up dying, I ended up in a fight on the street with somebody, bro.
You already had that mindset. You're probably gonna die. You're probably already thinking you're gonna die.
Yeah, I didn't come out of that for like 4 years. I didn't come out of that until like five. After 5 years later, then I came back to normality. I got my sense.
Let me ask you. I'm going to ask you a question because I have no idea about this shit. I have no idea about this, so I'm going to ask and listen. Okay. So when you came back, you were used to some hostile shit and fast pace and just whatever that experience was, right? Did you feel basically like you basically felt like I can do anything I want? Is that the way your sensation? I mean, talk about that.
I mean, you know what it is, bro? Like when you're in it, you got a chain of command, so you listen to whatever they say. But then when you go out in the civilian world, you feel like, man, these guys are on your level for some fucking weird reason. You're different.
Well, I can tell you why. Because it happened to me. It happened to me, Gypsy. Within the first 5 months, I came back on R&R. And so I was downrange, firing and getting fired upon. So when they said, okay, it's your turn to go on vacation, and I dipped out within like the first 5 months after being there, then I went back. So it was just a vacation. I went there, and my senses were heightened, dude. I could see farther. I could smell better, and I can hear sharper. I could hear better as well. So a lot of the times you're picking up noises before any other people do, and that's why you think that you can see ahead of everything, because as soon as you pick up a noise, and that's what fear will do you. It make your size get more acute. So when you hear something, dude, you're already seeing somebody stepping from a long distance away, and you see the person coming. Now your eyes will they'll zoom into that person, and you could see like all the creases in his face, the intentions that he has. You're fucking dialed in, bro. You're like a killer.
Yeah,
that's
exactly,
what happens.
bro. Like I would go to a crowded zone.
It's like the similar senses to a hunter.
Bro, I go into a crowded zone, bro. I would size up everybody. Literally, like I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But like, I would size up everybody, like, everybody in that, like whether it's a mall, whether anywhere, bro. Like I would like, okay, this guy's coming in, this guy's doing this. Like, it's just weird fucking thought processes, bro. Like, why would I size up every fucking motherfucker I see around me? But that shit died down after like, and then there was moments where I would like fucking rage, bro, like ridiculous rage. It made no sense. I would like want to kill my family members type of rage. I had to like really get the fuck out of the house.
What are we doing? Because you're scanning the sector. When you're in the war, you're turning left and right, and you're seeing the potential threats. So when you back home, your mind is still on that. You're scanning left and right. That's where you're sizing everybody up. And especially in a crowded room, you don't want to put your back against people because you always want to be looking at where where the threat is possibly coming from.
Exactly.
Do you always sit in the back too, bro? Gonzalez, do you always end up like when you're like in any kind of a like say you're in an auditorium or something, you like to go all the way in the back, right? Because that's like my thing. Like I like to.
You don't want to be facing forward and like people are staring at the back of your head and thinking like, okay, you're gonna get sniped at, you're getting shot at.
Yeah.
And I know it's not the war, but I mean those things linger.
Well, well, think about it, guys. Who became the Hells Angels? The original Hells Angels motorcycle club. The reason why their conception was the Flyboys came back. The original Hells Angels group in Southeast Asia came back home, and they were so a bunch of kids in their early 20s, all fucking wound up from being in war, and they wanted the closest thing they could do is take those motorcycles because you get them for like fucking $15 from military surplus, and you would chop them up. You know what I mean? You'd take everything off, put a big chopper on it, and 1948 they became the San Bernardino Hells Angels, and it was all ex-military. That's why to this day, more than half of the people you'll see in the Hells Angels are ex-military. They still like taking from the military. That's
what's interesting about what you're talking about war. Guys, you know what's interesting about what you're talking about war is because, that's when you're in a wartime scenario, your adrenaline every day in and day out, you're getting that adrenaline. You got to make compromises with yourself. You got to make promises with yourself. Like when I got to Nam and I set foot there the first time, I told myself I wasn't going to harm any good people. I was just going to kill some NVAs. I wasn't going to harm any human beings. I was just going to kill some NVAs. I wasn't going to harm any animals either, just NVAs. And that's what I told and that's what got me through that.
Yeah, totally different with me, dude. I shot everybody. I lined up women, children, lined them up against the bridge. I just blasted everybody.
Joy. Hi, people in the chat saying that this show has moved away from boxing, which is true. But then again, what else can we say right now? At this point in the year, there's not much, to be honest.
Let's go to that list. Let's tackle that list and stay focused on that.
I want to actually just.
There's Teofimo Lopez fighting Jermaine Ortiz.
Oh, that's a good fight, man. That's a good fight, man. Teo has the DL solid that he doesn't get credit for, but he beat 2 top 10 fighters. You know what I mean? And that's a solid list, man. He's got a solid resume. Too bad he's not popular.
I could see another Cambosos happening, though. He's already talking like he's not taking this kid serious.
No, Teofimo's popular, I believe. He's probably amongst he's probably around the top 10, maybe top 5 as far as popularity. I'm thinking, I don't know why he's not. He's people are watching him when it's not pay-per-view. Yeah, we certainly talk about him.
He does better numbers than Haney does.
What do you guys think about Haney versus Sandor Martin?
Sandor, that's going to be a robbery and a boring ass fight.
It don't matter who.
Jimmy, is that like a
nobody wants to see Haney fight? Period.
Is that a mandatory fight? Mandatory?
No, they're trying right now. They're trying. They got his father got caught straight up lying about offering Matisse a contract because Matisse wants to fight him, but they're not going to fight him. No fucking way.
No,
so
no way.
But so the names that are being thrown around right now are Sandor Martin, which is just beyond fucking ridiculously boring. That fight would be, imagine that, and then Keith Thurman and Barrios. One of those three will be his next opponent.
I think Keith Thurman's done, man.
He going to fight? How is he going to fight Keith Thurman? He's going to go up to 147?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which makes sense. I mean, he the night he went in the ring against Lomachenko, he was heavier than a junior middleweight. He was almost 160.
I understand that, but like once you go, you understand this, Jimmy. Once you go up in weight,
of course,
going
you
back
go
down,
up and up,
like,
but he just doesn't have to. But he's so big, and those three names, yeah, it'd be different if it was fighting Boots. But Keith Thurman, he fought, took 2 years off, fought, and his next month will be 2 years again since he fought last. So that's a part-time fighter whose skills are completely eroded. Sandor Martin, that kid's got fucking, feather-fisted. He doesn't try to engage. That would be the most boring. But this way, Haney would be the aggressor in that fight. So that would tell you what that's all about.
Yeah.
And then Mario Barros, whose claim to fame is getting knocked out by Davis at 135. So, 140 rather.
Oh, these are
those
awful fights,
being
man.
bandied about. Those are the names being thrown about with him right now. And I think that's part of what happened. The sign with DAZN, I think what they did was capitulate to letting him kind of pick his way because he left Bob. Of course, he was going to stay with Bob. Bob was straight up telling everybody that he lost to Lomachenko. So, of course, Haney couldn't handle that. But going with DAZN, I think part of the thing was we choose who we're going to fight. We have a big say in that. So, yeah, it's going to be boring.
I think he boxed circles around Matias. I think he should fight Matias and make an example out of him. I think he can.
I don't know why he gets knocked out in that fight.
I think he gets smashed.
That kid Matisse, he gets smashes hard too. That fucking dude hits.
He's just going to get used to him, and Haney doesn't hit hard to back him off. That guy's going to just keep coming forward. He's going to fuck him up.
Haney will get smashed, bro. I think he's the Beterbiev or George Foreman or whatever you want to call him. I think he's the Beterbiev of that division. I mean, Yep.
He's a snowball, dude. Like it gets worse and worse round by round. He gets used to how hard you hit.
Exactly. Look what he did against that Akhmadaliev guy or whatever, one of them dudes from the stands.
Right, I remember that.
Now you're talking about a quality fighter, man. And not only that, but it's not like that guy didn't have
his ass too.
Exactly. It's not like he didn't have pop. He had mad pop, and he was accurate as hell.
He beat a dude that death 3 or 4 fights ago.
Right through him.
Who died.
And it's not like Matias. If Matias can't hit that, it's not like he can't hit hard. I mean, obviously he got maybe almost 100% KO ratio. Well, he eventually knocked the dude out. He doesn't want to hit you as hard as he could. If he wanted to spark you out with one shot, he probably could, obviously, but he don't want to load up. He don't want to get off balance. He's content with tapping you hard and
breaking you down.
Somebody was saying. Yeah, break you down. Thank you. Like in a snowball effect, he want to break you down and catch you when you're off balance, you're not popping hard, and he's going to run you over at that point.
There's no way they're going to risk his reputation on him. There's no way to let him get his ass beat. There's no fucking way.
What? I mean, he fought program. He should.
I was going to say too, Inoue. It looks like the Inoue will be fighting Neri next. That's the fight that looks like it's going to happen. That's the one they're pushing for. I mean, this kid just tries to take on the best of every division.
Why not?
Boxing's fight. I mean,
he's probably not. The little guys don't have it as long as a shelf life, though. So he's doing the right thing right now. He's in his prime. He's taking on everybody he can when he's at his best. That's like the smartest thing you can do.
Yeah, his career at 130.
People are saying that he should, Figueroa will be the guy to beat him. And I'm like, how do you figure that? Figueroa couldn't stop Fulton, and Inoue sparked him out.
I mean, yeah, but Teresa Neri, the dude from Tijuana, man, he's coming off a Fight of the Year candidate, or was it Fight of the Year against Asad Havanesian? And he's only lost one time because he couldn't cut weight properly. So he lost. Well, that's what he said against Figueroa. He had problem making weight. And credit to Figueroa, he ultimately did give him credit in an interview. He got knocked out with a body shot. But, I mean, he's only lost one time. And I think they want to exact revenge for Neri's shenanigans over in Japan because he was banned. But I guess they're lifting the ban. They're lifting the ban, take him over there and make an example out of him. So there's kind of a little bit of a grudge match. They're like, not grudge match.
Did you read about that? Did you read about it?
What did he do?
Because that's exactly what they said, Gonzalo. Gonzalo, that's exactly what they said.
No, there's bad blood. That's what I meant. There's actually like bad blood. And that dude, that Panterita Neri, he's a little gangster from TJ. He's grimy, dude. Just the way he talks, I seen him in an interview. He talks like your typical dude from Tijuana. That I used to see him in the penitentiary where they filmed "Got the Gringo" because I was over there for a little while. He's exactly like one of those dudes that's fucking like waiting to get to go to prison or something to see the judge. You see him talking, and
what?
Didn't he say some shit over in Japan? I know. Well, I don't remember exactly, but he disrespected the country supposedly. I know he fought, knocked out one of their guys, but then he said some things. I heard that. I don't know if it was true, but at first he had a ban that he couldn't go back to Japan. I don't know if they lifted that, but that's
no, Jimmy. He got
right.
popped. No, Jimmy. He got popped for peds. He got popped for peds.
Okay.
And they are super strict about that shit. So
but the reason he got caught for peds, but then he knocked out the Japanese fighters that he's fought over there brutally. So supposedly he got caught cheating, but the stuff. Well, he didn't get caught. Like they still allowed the fight to happen under unfair circumstances.
Gonzalo.
Hold on. Let me finish. Hold on. And he took advantage of that. It doesn't matter if you can correct me or not. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me just say what I gotta say because I get blocked. He whether it was unfair or not, they still allowed the fights to happen, and he knocked those dudes out brutally. So those dudes are pissed. They're pissed. The Japanese.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then that adds a little bit of drama to the whole aspect, but primarily because the Japanese are so straight ball. They're everything's by the book. Everything's like dot the I's, cross the T's type shit. So Neri comes, he pops peds, says, "Look, you're a fucking cheater. You're dishonorable." Because it's like you're dishonorable. So you're not like whatever. So he gets a lifetime ban. But now they want to make sense. So now they want to make the fight. Yeah, now they want to make the fight because it's a big money maker, and good for fucking Luis Neri, because you know what, he's gonna make the most money he can ever make on this fight.
Luis Neri, he ain't playing, dude. That dude's grimy, and he don't give a fuck. He's gonna go out there like, dude, he's got the whole country against him, and those people are real like honorable, right? And they feel that somehow this guy, well, we know why, that he disrespected their culture. But Luis Neri don't give a fuck. Like I say, he's just like
that makes more sense. The PED thing doesn't make any sense to me. They had a whole organization in MMA called Pride. Those guys were juiced to the fucking gills, and the Japanese government knew about it.
Yeah, but the thing, when he went over there, he knocked out the Japanese dudes that he fought, I believe, I can't recall exactly, brutally. So they're pissed off about that.
That makes more sense to me. The PED thing doesn't really make any kind of sense because they're known for letting them do it.
Just like IFL TV says, Gonzalo is brutally honest.
If I were Neri, I would put Hiroshima on that.
Especially since he's coming off that fight of the year candidate against is he Armenian? Havanesian?
Havanesian, yeah, is Armenian.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Armenian for sure.
Who's tough as
if it rhymes with Armenian, it's Armenian.
Gypsy,
I can listen, bro. I'm listening this entire time. You guys talking. I put like one word in. Go ahead.
No, hey, aren't those dudes like really strong though? Like really, who's that? The Darchinian, like pound for pound, those dudes are like weightlifters though, Jimmy. At the lower weight classes, not at the bigger sizes. Well, some of the dudes are big, like in the Olympics.
Yeah, it's like the Chechenian. Yeah, the notorious powerlifters. They've been since the 70s. For a small country,
they have a good national team for wrestling too.
Yeah,
Armenians do pretty well in wrestling.
People though, like the boxers that they put out, usually are very small guys. They're not the huge.
I think they're average sized people. They're like Greeks. They're kind of similar. They're average sized.
Yeah, average. There's no like massive 6'9" dude in our fucking mix. I mean, we do have guys that are 6'9", but they're not.
You probably get one here and there, but yeah, they're average size. I wouldn't say they're small people. Everybody from that region is like almost kind of the same. The biggest people in the region are probably like Serbians or something like that. They get big.
Yeah, it's not the same region though. That's the Balkans, bro. The Balkans are different people entirely than the people from the Caucasus.
Look at people from Greece and look at people from Armenia. Very
No,
similar.
Actually,
yeah, but no.
the
The Greeks,
Italians are the ones that come close to the Italians.
Well,
so
look
the
how close the Greeks
Balkans.
are to Italian. They're just it's almost
Yeah,
the
they're
same
pretty much
shit.
the
Greeks
same.
are not Italians, man. Greeks are not Italians. Okay, they have an
I know
ancient.
they're not.
They
I'm
have
both.
some
I'm
ancient.
both the nationalities.
So if you think about the Balkans, basically, I mean, somebody said this to me, and I go, oh shit, because I always thought about Greece as completely different than the fucking craziness that goes on in the Balkans, shit, right? The Serbs are very big. The Serbs are fucking huge, okay? Vladi Divac, and you got these big motherfuckers out there, and also the Croatians are big, right? They're the rarer bunch, they're more northern Slav, but the southern Slav are basically all in the Balkans, all the way up to basically where Croatia is, which is a really weird ass shaped country, and it's basically where their ethnic population is. And somebody said this to me and goes, yeah, well, Greece is a Balkan country. And I go, oh, shit, I never even thought about Greece as a Balkan country.
Technically,
Yeah,
if you go to the north, technically. And if you go to the south, it's Mediterranean. So there you are.
Well, I can tell you this about the Serbs. I know that they're all, if you're coming in from Serbia, you're on the watch list. I know with the, my cousin's husband, he worked at the Logan Airport. He was part of the Homeland Security outfit. And people coming in from Serbia was an automatic search them.
Yeah, because of Kosovo. Well, because of all the Kosovo shit. We were on.
I guess for some reason they took to mafia shit like right away, right when the curtain fell. They were the first people to really embrace the Western culture of like mafioso shit, organized crime. But New York surrounded themselves with Serbians. They're killers.
That's absolutely right. But they had like all of those, the old time guys that are all gone now. There is no American Mafia anymore. But all those guys, there was all these people from the Balkans coming over, all of them, except for Bosnia. Not a lot of Bosnians, Albanians. There were Albanians and not
people.
Greeks though.
Well, I'll tell you this, right now, no bullshit. The Italian mafia is not only still alive; it's actually growing faster than the reason why is because they pulled all the agents. All after 9/11, they got all taken off, and that they were put onto all these different things now. Where it's completely under the mud. They stopped shooting each other. I heard the one thing that I found disturbing. They were letting people in. The Macon guys now who aren't 100% Sicilian or Italian. When I was, back in the day, you had to be 100% Sicilian. Then it became 100% Italian. Now I heard as long as they can trace, like if your father's 100% Italian, they'll make you.
Do you guys know how they made? Do you guys know how they do them?
Oh yeah.
You know how they do it? It's like a ritual.
Each family has a saint, a patron saint, and they basically what they do is they prick your finger. They draw blood. They put it on the picture on the saint, and then all the captains of the family are in a circle around the table. They burn it. They roll it. It burns in your hand, and you got to say, you repeat. If I betray the people in my family, my brothers in the family, may my soul burn like this saint. You keep repeating that till the ashes. Then you throw the ashes in the ashtray, and you go around the circle, kiss everybody, and that's it. You're in for life. You're a made man.
Yep.
Open up
then a raven flies by your window, and you die 5 years later. Right?
Oh, guaranteed, yeah. And the worst thing is, it's usually going to come from someone you thought was one of your best friends. That's the most grungy, ratchety thing about the mob. When the dude who shoots you in the back of the head is usually someone you consider a best friend.
Then they sell ravioli on the side. Nah, just saying. It's a little Italian joke right there.
The American mob has been dead for years. It's been dead since they took it out. They're telling you stories.
Bro. I don't know if it's been dead.
It pivoted into corporate. They bought actual corporate shit. They own buildings. There's this group in LA called the Cerisi Group that sprung up out of nowhere right after COVID, and they bought a whole bunch of huge ass high rises. Nobody knows where these people came from. I think they're all ex-Italian mob.
They had controlled unions. Control a lot of shit.
The Italian mob in Boston's bigger now than it was in the 70s. Right now, there's more made members in Boston right now than there was in the 70s. When the Winter Hill gang was going around, but because they couldn't compete really with the Irish.
You don't talk about the family. You don't talk about the family.
Fat guy.
Get him, Alan.
Well, the fucking supposedly the. You got to see the dude too. He's like 400 pounds.
Jimmy, Jimmy, what are you doing talking to civilians about the family?
It's Baba Ganoush.
Baba Ganoush. I had a friend who was who was too crazy to get in. They wanted him at first, but he was too actually nutty. They even told him, like, dude, we can't make you. You're too fucking nuts. But he's dead now, so God rest his soul.
There you go.
Hey, guys, we should end the show right now. Seems like there's not much boxing at this point. Still January.
No.
So,
go back to your list. Go back to the list, man.
Biggest robbery of the year. Biggest.
Can I ask a quick question, real quick? So I can know. When is the Beterbiev Callum Smith fight?
This tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Shit. All right. Nice. I was looking at it, and I stopped watching boxing for the past month. There hasn't been shit going on, really.
Well, there hasn't been anything. Yeah, since the Inoue fight.
Bucho, can I tell you this too? The talk of Haney. Say if Haney, no matter who he fights, if it's Barros or fucking Sandor Martin or Thurman, this talk that it might be on a pay-per-view. Even though his last one didn't even hit 50,000.
Jimmy, what's up with Eddie Hearn and thinking that Devin Haney's like a potential Mayweather or something? I think that's what he thinks because he puts him in these big fights, pay-per-view fights. Like he doesn't deserve to be on pay-per-view.
No, that last fight didn't even hit 50,000.
But they gotta pay him, man. They pay him a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. I guess.
Well, they were originally paying him $3 million a fight when the zone first kicked on. They signed him originally, but then he left obviously to go to Top Rank. But now he's back with the zone. In order to get him, I would imagine that they had to, capitulate to all kinds of demands. Listen, that really hurt the zone. I think the zone's future got really rocked when Canelo left, even though if it was only for 3 fights. I think they were basing everything off Canelo. To lose him to PBC, I know Hearn says, well, I don't blame him. We really had nothing to offer him. Come on. That still crushed them. I think DAZN doesn't take boxing as serious. I don't think they're really even caring as much. And I think as of March of this year, you're going to see their numbers plummet, the subscription numbers. I bet you a lot of people don't resign. I know I'm not fucking
Jimmy,
buying
I
it
just
again.
resigned automatically.
No.
I didn't fucking check and I resigned like 1 year again.
Oh.
Yeah, it automatically resigns on you. If you don't, it'll take it right out of your card.
Oh fuck! Anyway,
$225 fucking dollars.
What I do is I get the pay-per-view fights and I buy the membership for that month and then I unsubscribe for the next month. So I have to wait
The
for it.
last pay-per-view, the Haney pay-per-view was only what? I think it was $40. It was relatively cheap, $30 or some shit. It was like half the price of a PBC pay-per-view, which everything on the PBC, they haven't announced any dates yet. Remember, they were supposed to have like half the fights can be pay-per-view, the other half on regular Prime. How are they going to do that? There's still no money to finance it. Al Heyman's not a promoter. He's just an advisor. Who's going to finance all the fights?
Hey, by the way.
You know what it sounds like, Jimmy? Oh, go ahead, Lucho.
Oh, he's gone. I wanted to ask Rarebreed who his fight of the year was. Oh, well. Go ahead.
Obviously, it's going to be Terence Crawford.
Who knows, man? Who knows? Hey, by the way, super chat from SSC, super chat. He says, most annoying caller, Black Chibi. I guess you can consider him a caller, yes. Yes.
I honestly, I would give Crawford Fighter of the Year, but I still, and the reason being, his win was more significant. It had a bigger impact on the sport in general than Inoue's, but pound for pound, and this is taking all emotions out of it, just match up their achievements side by side. Not only has Inoue done it more, he's done it more convincingly in a much shorter period of time. So, without a doubt, I got him for pound number one, and Crawford right behind him, but I would give Crawford Fighter of the Year because of the significance of the,
Other way around.
What about Verby? Let's see what Verby has to say about this.
I got the opposite logic on that. I got Inoue Fighter of the Year for the 2 performances back to back. And I got Bud number 1 pound for pound for being the first man to conquer 2 division undisputed.
And the way he did it against another, and you might not like Earl Spence, but he was on the pound for pound list.
No, he wasn't.
Stephen Fulton was not.
Yeah, but that's
Stephen Fulton was not on the pound for pound list.
No, my pound for pound
Fulton
list.
was a much better caliber fighter than Spence, though.
Yes,
no, you can't.
Absolutely. At that stage of their career, listen.
Well, yeah,
the thing is, listen. That's pandering. Anybody who had Spence on their pound for pound list, that's straight pandering. No fucking.
No, exactly, Jimmy. Like I've always said, did Spence fight like a pound for pound boxer? Did Spence? Jimmy?
That's just Fulton. Okay, what's up, brother?
Did Spence fight like a? Did Spence, Errol Spence Jr. Did he fight like a? Did Errol Spence Jr. fight like a pound for pound fighter? He didn't look like a pound for pound fighter. Yes, you can lose if you're a pound for pound fighter, but you don't lose like that. That showed us that somebody was lying. This guy wasn't as good as some people were saying.
Actually, all three of them hadn't fought a pound for pound fighter until Spence and Crawford fought each other. In a way, hadn't fought a pound for pound fighter either.
But
hold on.
But listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
But listen,
he's not a pound for pounder.
I want it.
Yes, he was. Maybe not your list, but he was on a lot of people's list, whether you like it or not, Bootro.
But there are
on people's list, and then they got found out. They got found out because of how he fought. He looked like shit.
Why don't we just give Bud credit?
No. Bud isn't as good as. Watch the next time he fights. He looked? Adhesion gave him a harder time than Spence. The alcohol had finally done him in. No questions asked.
Postal gave him a much harder time.
What's that?
Never fight Boots.
That's years back, bro. That's way too
bad.
But now everybody gave him a harder time.
But take emotion out of it right now. Let me just do this real quick right here. You just go by the numbers. Number of fights becoming a world champion. All right. Crawford 21, Inoue 5. Number of divisions they've won championships in. Inoue 4, Crawford 3. Number of divisions they've unified. Both got 2. Number of title fights, Inoue 21 with a 90% knockout, Crawford 18 with an 83% knockout. Number of fights versus current world champions, Inoue 13 with an 85% KO, Crawford 10 with a 75% KO. Number of opponents who became world champions after they fought, after they got beat up by those guys, 2 of Crawford's, 4 of Inoue's. So you just look at all the numbers across the board, pragmatically speaking. And if you know the low weight classes, like people bring up Fulton, what about Neves? The longest reigning featherweight champion in the history of the sport, has the most title defenses, tied with Julio Cesar with 27. He blasted him out in 2 rounds. 43 professional fights. He was never off his feet.
Just like Jimmy says, the stats say that Inoue...
And he got blown out in 2 rounds. So you look at the level of competition and the level of
that's a good point. By the way, let me just quickly read 2 super chats here. SSC. My mic sucks. Nobody can hear me.
Super chat.
Those champions.
Super chat.
Bro, Bucho's got to do a super chat, bro.
Read his super chat.
Jeez. SSC, thank you for your super chat. He says biggest meat riders, Mirage and Rare Breed. So they will get those awards, BDA award for biggest meat riders. Rare Breed, and Mars says Rare Breed, Shakur a generational talent. That's what he's saying. Shakur a generational talent. Of course, we don't know now.
Generational talent. Then what the fuck is Inouye?
I think Rare Breed's gonna have to admit that he was wrong.
He's a god.
You know who's we're missing?
He's a fucking god, then I guess.
He's a god.
Yeah, he's a fucking
we're missing Bam Bam Rodriguez. We're missing Bam Bam Rodriguez, and that's the shame of it. I think as boxing is fading,
Bam Bam Rodriguez.
I think as boxing is. Go ahead.
He's not.
Say what you're gonna say.
Bam Rodriguez is not a generational talent. Sorry.
I believe he is. I believe, given the chance, he is. He just hasn't been given the chance yet.
I don't know about
that. Bam is a very skillful, very skillful.
Maybe.
Bam could be.
Go ahead. Let him say what he's going to say, man. Let him say. Go ahead. Say it.
Bam is very skillful. He's very, very skillful, but he's not at the caliber of Inoue. Let's just say that much. He's like, just say if he's like one notch below, maybe even a little bit further down.
Okay, let me
like maybe a little bit further down than that. Like he's like a B minus. If Inoue's an A plus.
Oh no,
he's a B minus.
B minus.
He's a good fighter, bro. I like him. I picked him to beat what's his name? Edwards.
All right. Let me counter that for you, okay? He's got the best active guard that I've seen since Chocolatito, okay? Chocolatito had the best active guard I was like, holy shit, what does this guy do? I mean, it's amazing. And he could do it from...
Did we just lose NPR?
Yeah, I think we lost him. Responsible in a way. Let me finish.
We didn't know you.
In the last fight against...
Listen,
in the last fight...
Talking. You cut out. You have to go back and say what you said. You cut out.
Yeah, you got cut out, brother.
I got cut out? Okay.
Yeah,
you got cut out, bro. He's got the best guard that I've ever seen. Like, in other words, he protects himself in a way that is more perfect than I've ever seen before. Like, I have never seen somebody protect themselves and mix the defense and offense the way he does. I've never seen it.
Wasn't he getting hit a lot by Edwards? I saw him getting hit.
I agree with you with his guard, but you know what he lacks where Inoue's at? You know where he lacks? His legs. His legs are not that good. Inoue can in and out, dart out. That you know why that's important? Because when you face a guy like he faced in Nonito Donaire, where the guy is clearly bigger, hits harder, has an iron chin, and he has good timing, he was able to hold his own. And I don't know how I scored that fight because this is years back already, but he dominated in a sense against a guy like that. He dominated for sure.
He put the pressure on him. Donaire came to fight.
What I would say is this. What I would say is it's earlier on, and it's almost unfair in a kind of way that as all the money is moving out of boxing and people are building real estate and fucking giant shit all over the world, that there's no more money in boxing, right? All the big money is elsewhere. So what I'm going to say is this. Is that Inoue got a chance to get in on the last glory days of boxing, where there was still money in this fight. However,
you're looking at it in American point of view. He fights in Japan.
What I've seen from him recently is a way to that he moves his feet, and you go, oh shit, that move came from Lomachenko. You'll see him do a lot of things that, and he punches from angles. I mean, it's beautiful, bro, and it's fast as hell, and it's accurate as hell.
Tomorrow, when you finish, you want to come back tomorrow or what?
Go ahead.
He emulates. Hang on, Jimmy. You're talking about this amazing guard. I saw him eating a lot of clean shots from fucking Edwards, man. What's this amazing defense? Am I blind? Am I missing something? Wasn't he beat up a lot by Edwards?
Taking a lot of blows from Sonny Edwards, it's not really anything.
Who the fuck is Sonny Edwards?
No, look, he got defense. His problem was his legs. That's why he got clipped with those fucking shots with Edwards.
20 fights with 4 KOs. Apparently that's elite these days. The passes for elite.
Well, it makes sense that he looks like Lomachenko. He's been on video a number of times saying that he studies Lomachenko, and that's the style he tries to emulate. So he's actually trying to fight like Lomachenko. That's how much respect he has for his abilities.
How old is Bam?
No, the conversation originally was with Ribbery and everybody else to talk about that. I just want to. I hear that. When people say Bud has accomplished more, listen, everybody will be honest, right? What was the number one knock on Bud Crawford going into this fight? Everybody's going to say it because it's a fact. His resume, everybody say he's never fought anybody. He has no signature wins, whereas Inoue has multiple signature wins.
Oh, yeah.
He fought a bunch of fucking top dudes. Like, unbelievable. And listen, not only did he fight him, but he obliterated him in 2 rounds, right? He took out fucking Rodriguez, who right now is one of the PBC's best champion, the top 3 best champions right now. He's guaranteed. and he got fucking.
But Bud is the only guy.
Listen, let me finish. Inoue went through him like a hot knife through butter. Tell me the people that Bud fought: Ricky Burns, Gamboa. Come on.
He asked me the question. Let me answer. Goddamn it.
I disagree with that. But go ahead.
Can I answer? All right. Look, the time when Bud fought Posto was highly regarded. We're not gonna forget that. And even though, he was highly regarded at that time. He was, I think.
Yeah, he ran like a little bitch. He fought like a little bitch.
Overall.
Sean Porter gives a hard fight to everybody. That's a good win by Bud. He's the only person to stop Sean Porter.
That's one of his best wins, absolutely.
But by the way, Bud. One last thing, Jimmy.
Let him finish.
Bud is the only fighter on the pound for pound list that's never been in a competitive fight. Not Usyk, not Inoue, none of those guys. Canelo.
Oh, you think that makes him look good or worse, bro?
He's the only fighter on that list that's never been in a competitive fight, and that's a fact.
Dude, you got listen. Yeah,
you never got
The Porter fight was even on the cards almost when he stopped him. That's a competitive fight.
Yeah, there was a competitive fight. Absolutely. And listen, and you got to use quantifiers, dude. Actual quantifiers, descriptors that actually mean something. To say the only one who's been in a competitive fight, then that's when I say look at the level of competition he fought. What was the knock? Call me a liar. Tell me that everybody, especially his detractors, said that his resume was weak.
People say the same thing about Inoue's resume, so keep the same energy.
No. You know who said that? Anybody listen, anybody who knows boxing, no, but how could you sit there and say his resume was weak?
I can say the same thing about people who question Bud's resume.
Listen,
you know, when you talk about
what you're saying is wrong.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they're both wrong. How about that? Let's keep it a buck. They're both idiots.
Run down the line.
They both have
guys.
And by the way, saying Bud Crawford or Inoue is number one pound for pound is not disrespect to either one. To me, it's A1 and AB.
Exactly.
Yeah, one A and one B.
And I gave Bud Fighter of the Year because of the significance of that win. And I'm the biggest Bud fan on this fucking panel. Remember, I'm the one who said he was going to fucking knock Spence out.
Who became two division undisputed first?
That doesn't mean anything if the other guy does it too, right?
No. We're talking about fighter of the year. We're talking about fighter of the year, not what you. It's not. We're not talking about. We're not talking about Crawford. We're not gonna count Crawford defeating Ndongo. We're not gonna count Crawford beating Ndongo a million years ago.
Oh my God, you guys!
Yeah, what the fuck? We're not counting. We're not counting Crawford. Drisa, shut your mouth. We're not counting. What you saying?
When you kick him out, bro.
I'm gonna kick you out. You can't fucking hear me. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut it. Disgusting.
How about you?
Disgusting.
Hey, come on, Bucho. Go ahead, man.
The Bucho.
He needs to cool down. All right.
What the fuck is going on?
I was saying, Crawford versus Ndongo. When did that fucking happen? It happened a long time ago. That doesn't count for the 2023 fucking assessment. All right? That's when he unified it, when he beat Ndongo. So we have to forget about the Ndongo fight. In 2023, who deserves to be fighter of the year?
I think Inoue should be fighter of the year.
Oh, there you go.
Number one pound for pound.
Had 2 fights.
Well, I have it the other way the people who say Inoue have actual quantifiable descriptors they can go to. It's not about feelings.
That's your subjective opinion, Jimmy.
No, it's not subjective, dude. I have to show you the picture. There's objective facts. He has one more at a higher level, at better competition, and he did his Unified 2 in a year, not 7 years in between, a year. So it's not subjective. It is a fact. He has more wins. He has more knockouts. Objective. He has fought more. No, listen.
You know what else is
subjective? Subjective right now.
You know what else is a fact?
Jesus Christ!
You know what else is a fact?
Oh my God, dude! What am I know? He's a smart kid too. He's a smart fucking kid.
Therefore, Rolly's a better fighter than Roger Ortiz.
How did you make that?
Jesus Christ!
What did you say?
It's objective, not subjective.
Rolly
That's
has
objective
a belt before Virgil Ortiz. Therefore, Rolly's a better fighter than Virgil because he's accomplished more. Why do we leave out context? Are we going to forget Buck Crawford?
That's how you go, because when you're
Why do
talking
we
about...
need to listen to this faggot, bro? Why do we listen to this faggot?
Hold up, guys, hold up. Jimmy, let him talk.
It's not
even. Let him talk.
Are we?
This retard doesn't ever make any sense, bro.
No,
we don't have to yell.
Buck Crawford was blackballed by PBC fighters like Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and Earl Spence for the longest time. He couldn't get those fights. So, of course, it took longer to achieve those things.
All right,
not
so
only that,
why does he get a pass?
But he was held by Bob Arum for like
and Bob Arum didn't let him fight Pacquiao. That's a fact.
This is like the same argument you can make for Triple G, but you never acknowledge that.
You'll never hear that.
That's not true. I acknowledge the duck Triple G. That's cap.
But here's an objective fact. When it comes to pound for pound, which is accomplishments, right? Which is a large part of accomplishments, and that's what we're talking about.
Achievements.
Anui already surpassed him, and I'm gonna tell you why. Not only did he went up 4 weight classes, and this is the argument they like to use. Oh, they only go up 3 pounds, 4 pounds. Look at the weight he won his first belt, 108 pounds, and he's already won at 122. That's 14 pounds compared to Crawford, who's 12 pounds. Now, if you do the percentage, hold on.
Do the percentage.
If you do the percentage, it's significant higher. Okay?
Yeah, they don't have the frame.
And everything. Hold on, let me finish.
That's exactly what I want to say. Recognize, but you took the words out of my mouth.
Let me finish. Not to mention all the other parts of the resume that Jimmy just read to you guys, but it goes through one ear, comes out the other on purpose. It's called I don't want to hear it. He is objectively a much better fighter than Crawford.
No, that's
definitely 100%.
Objectively, bro. That's literally
objectively.
You're not listening.
Hold on a second. Okay, well, my turn. Hold on.
Let NPR.
And one guy has done more. That's what that means.
Okay. Do you think Caleb's a better fighter than David Morrell because of his
No. Listen, no straw man, dude. Stick to the two.
That's nonsense.
Can I mention something as well? The criteria wasn't appropriate that you made, what we made up earlier, because we're comparing 2 people that were across the board lineal and they were undisputed. The comparison you made earlier was a guy, who in the fuck was it? Ricky Burns or something like that? You're comparing people that aren't even like champions, or they're like fringe champions versus guys. It's not even a proper comparison.
He went 12 rounds with Ricky Burns. He went 12 rounds.
No way hasn't gone 12 rounds before.
All right, hold on a second. You're getting in the weeds.
When it came to
you're getting in the weeds.
It came to top fighters like Crawford. The difference between Inouye and Crawford was Inouye knocked those guys out. Okay,
Crawford's knocked out everybody at 147.
At 147,
everybody.
But before that, he went the distance with Posto. Inouye had a Posto, Emmanuel Rodriguez. He knocked them out in 2 rounds. Okay, 2 rounds. He made him do the ugly face. You know what the ugly face is? It's an embarrassing word. When you
recognize. You did mention
ugly face is when you make somebody look like they take a shit on themselves. We used to call that back in the days. Hit that motherfucker so hard, make him make the ugly face. That's what he made him do.
Oh my god.
Yo, so recognize. You did mention a better fighter. You mean shut up for a second. Accomplishment, or if they were the same size.
So recognize. You did mention that Inoue did jump 14 pounds and Crawford only jumped 12, right?
Right.
Yes. So the conversation ends there. But you know what I'm saying? Why the fuck is that even a conversation past that? How do you say he's not doing more? He literally jumped more weight. You can't say the fucking smaller weight classes don't matter.
Smaller guy. Never sober. Yeah.
Sorry.
Every conceivable metric, fucking Inoue has accomplished more at. To say that's subjective is just Bizarre.
No, it's just you don't know boxing, bro. You don't know what you're talking about. That's it. And we fucking listen to him.
Another thing,
You don't fucking
Errol
watch this shit.
Errol Spence is not much of a pound for pound fighter that Nonito Donaire has ever been in his entire career.
I agree. Donair's
a first
Calm down. One at a time.
Donair's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Donaire is a pound for pound fighter, legit pound for pound fighter. Errol Spence is not a legit pound for pound fighter. He never went up in weight.
Guys,
he was
that dude names that guy Omar.
He's the biggest guy in the weight class.
That guy Omar fought fucking Donaire at his prime when Donaire was like eviscerating dudes, and he didn't put him down. Dude was notorious. Nobody ever put him down in fucking sparring. Nobody ever put him down in the pros. And in 2 rounds, fucking Inoue obliterated him. That happened over and over and over.
That never got touched to the ground. When they fight Inoue and the top guys become champions and all that, when they fight Inoue, they end in 2.
They're average. Yeah.
Average. They're nothing. They're nobodies. Get out of my face before I fucking send you to the corner.
That's why he's pound for pound #1 and the fighter of the year. He's both.
That's why I say I was about to say that he's both.
Which fight was more competitive?
He's not
Tapales, Inoue, or Earl Spence Crawford?
How many fights did Crawford
Hey, guess
have
what?
this year?
Tapales showed more skills. Tapales showed more skills than Errol Spence Jr.
So Tapales is better than Earl Spence.
Yes, he probably is. He probably is. But you just can't open your mind, man. You're too close-minded. You're too close-minded. You're too close-minded. You're just looking at this welterweight division.
You know what Tapales did?
Go look at the lower weight.
Hold on. You know what Tapales did that fucking Errol Spence couldn't do? If you watch the fights, Tapales made adjustments. He changed fighting styles mid-fight. You know what retard, slow-ass, drunk-ass couldn't do that shit mid-fight? Fucking Spence. He just kept coming forward, getting his ass fucking whipped, dropped 4 fucking times.
He had to up the intensity, and you saw what that got him. He's like, "Fuck, this
Got
guy's
his ass
really coming after me."
If Inoue and Crawford were the same size, would he beat Crawford? He beat the fuck out of Crawford.
Absolutely.
He'll knock
fuck out of
Listen, that would be a great fucking fight. And listen, I'm a huge Crawford fan. Nobody switches like he does. There's so many things that Crawford does that's amazing. And I would say if they were both the exact same size, that would be an insane fight. Where the thing that Crawford has over him is switching left to right, but Inoue would have the power over him. So.
Exactly. Blood's been hit square. Look how he fights. He is power.
I'm going to posit the question. I'm going to posit a question here.
You won the award, bro, for a Inoue fan base. BDA won the award for a Inoue fan base channel. YouTube.
All right. Anyway, look.
Oh, well, hey,
you know what? Jimmy brought up a good.
Seriously, man. Come on. Did you come up with that on your own? Or did you have your buddies on a conference call?
Yeah.
There you go.
Crawford is probably
you guys must be little guys.
The same size.
Come on, guys.
Well, let him explain himself. Let him. He doesn't think that Inoue should be #1 pound for pound or fighter of the year. So go ahead.
There's no logic behind it.
Well, we need to.
Yeah, I got a lot of logic. I never said he can't be fighter of the year. I said he's not #1 pound for pound. And I can break it down if y'all can let me speak.
Let him break it down. Let him break it down. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let him talk.
All right. Don't cut me off. So Inoue fought Nonito, but he has a female trainer all of a sudden. He's not the same Nonito. But let's put that out. And that he's way better than Spence? Are you crazy?
Stupid
argument.
Bro. The first fight was. Did you see the first fight? Nonito came.
The last thing I'm gonna say is this guy is beating little men, bro. How are you comparing? How are you comparing these baby weights?
Listen, guys. Listen. Honestly, I was saying, God, please don't let him go there. Please don't let him be one of those dudes who say he's doing it against little men. You know why? Because he's a little guy, dude. It's called relativity. You know what? If he was this size as a welterweight, he'd be fighting at welterweight. But when you're a little guy and you're doing that against other little guys, it's all relative. That's why there's weight classes. Your argument to be he's doing it against little guys is insane. It's insane.
What was Errol Spence doing?
Spence ain't going anywhere near the Hall of Fame unless it's there to cut the grass.
And Inoue, he cannot beat Bud, bro. Get that out your mind, bro.
Who's talking about fighting Bud? Bud's a welterweight. He's a 122-pounder guy. They're not going to fight, so that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. So tell us exactly how. Listen, how many Inoue fights? Let's ask him. How many Inoue fights have you seen? I guarantee you, the first Inoue fight that dude ever seen was Fulton. Guaranteed. Bet my life on it.
Hey, whoever said that, why don't Crawford go to 168 and fight Canelo? No rehydration.
He's planning on it. He's planning on it.
He ain't gonna do shit.
He's planning on it.
Okay, well, Drizzy, I have a question. Drizzy, what do you think's gonna happen if Drizzy, what do you think's gonna happen if he fights? What do you think's gonna happen if Crawford fights Canelo?
He's gonna get destroyed.
Let him answer. Let him answer.
I know that.
I think he's gonna give Canelo the best fight he's had in a very long time, maybe since Floyd.
He's gonna go.
And he might knock his ass out.
But Bud's best chance in that fight is to pull the Shakur Stevenson.
That's what's one more likely going to happen.
Don't have the power to knock Canelo out. Triple G hit Canelo square as fuck. And he wore it.
Triple G is an old man right now.
Hey, Crawford is more skilled than Canelo, besides matters.
When they fought in the second fight, he knocked the shit out of him. In the first fight, he knocked the shit out of him.
He's a much better fighter than Canelo, besides matters. It is what it is.
We don't know yet what's going to happen. But he's not going to do what Jamel did. I'll tell you that. He's going to go out on his shield, or he's going to freaking...
He's not knocking him out. I recognize.
Dreaming, man.
Yeah, but he's not...
He couldn't even knock out Jamel.
I was looking at the chat.
Bud went 12 rounds.
Went 12 rounds.
Team Batman Boxing says Janibek sleeps Crawford. He's right. That dude would beat the fuck
now
out of
you're getting
Crawford.
disrespectful.
No, it's not disrespectful.
Why?
Crawford hasn't fought at 154, and you think he could take out a guy that's
dude's like 6'3".
He's gonna beat the fuck out of him.
Crawford would
Janibek is like 6'3", walks around 190. He's a fucking huge dude.
It doesn't matter when your skills are well
unless they're compromised. Crawford will never fight somebody bigger than him unless they are compromised. Book it.
He's going to fight Canelo. Watch. You're going to be surprised.
In a way, should fight O'Shaquie Foster.
It's going to be checkout time. That's why.
Inoue should go up to 135. He should go up 8 weight classes from where he started at.
Foster fights at 130.
7, Jimmy. 7.
Okay, so we go up 7.
7. And by the way, SSC. Let me just quickly, guys. Quickly. SSC, thank you for your super chat. He says, Bud better stay away from 168. He better stay at them lower weights. He would get knocked the fuck out by Canelo. So stay away from 168. Stay away from Canelo.
He wouldn't win that fight, but he should fight. That's right. Lose, let him retire you, and that'll be the end of it, bro.
All the top 5 fighters at 168 put him to sleep.
They're gonna hurt him. How do you wear that? How do you recognize it in the ring?
On a body bag. Caleb Plant. You think Caleb Plant would knock out Bud Crawford?
He put him in a body bag.
No.
He's too damn big.
Caleb Plant doesn't punch hard enough. He wouldn't catch Crawford.
Even still, look how big he is. Like he's bigger than Canelo.
He's like fucking Janibek's bigger than Plant.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's funny? What's funny that you say that, Red Breed? You know what's funny that you say that, Red Breed, about how much bigger Caleb Plant is than fucking Crawford? He got bigger dimensions than Canelo.
Yeah, but Canelo might be short, but he's not little. It's like those NFL running backs. They're short, but they're
I heard that dumb shit all the time.
Canelo's strong. He's a refrigerator. But the point
Canelo is a big, wide motherfucker. He's bigger.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, dude. Like, if Crawford goes up and deals with that guy, look at Mike Tyson. Look what Roy Jones said when he fought Mike Tyson. It felt like a mule was kicking. What do you think Crawford's going to feel when Canelo starts turning shops over?
Yeah.
He could not go from 147 to 168 without warm-ups. If he went up that 3 weight classes, he'd be destroyed.
Guys, you know what Crawford guys. Crawford talking about fighting Canelo. The first time they mentioned it, he's like, no, fuck no, Canelo? Oh, it's too much. I ain't going to go up there. And then when you got all these yes men around him to say, oh, yeah, you can do it, you can pull it off.
he changed his tune, and then now he's thinking about payday. That's what he's saying. Payday. Yeah, that's exactly what he's thinking.
Because
of course,
he's thinking about going up. But I don't know if Canelo will take that fight.
Hey, there's nowhere to run now.
Crawford honestly should go to 154 and Crawford should go to 154 and unify that weight class. That's what I'd like to see.
He should. That's what if anybody had a brain cell in that fucking camp, you would not move him up that much weight. You know, you take him to 154, then you take him to 60. Especially in the upper weight classes.
The man is 36.
What?
Yeah, that's
36. How long do you think that process is going to take?
So what are you going to do? You're going to drop his ass up 3 weight classes. He's going to get
No, I don't think he should fight Canelo. I think he should stay at 47 and fight Boots, but I'm biased. But either way, if he go up there gradually, it's going to take a long time. He's 36 years old. He has 2 more fights left.
I think he should fight 2. I think he has
rumors, by the way, Boots might be signing with DAZN.
Oh, no, I hope not. That's
I
stupid.
hope so. Why not? Why would you hope not for him to do that? The PBC's dead.
That's career suicide.
Well, his manager's dead. His manager just died. Cameron just died, and then Showtime. He doesn't have Showtime anymore. That's who actually owned his contract.
I'm about to say, how is he supposed to be syndicated? Why would you stay? How is he supposed to get his name out there? That makes no sense.
The zone only has what? They have Conor Ben. And who else? Virgil?
Yeah, but they have an international platform.
Yeah, and you don't want to look at it that way. Right? The zone, but if you look, you're in the mindset of the PBC. The zone does cross promotions. If he goes to the PBC, it's going to be all in-house. And who does he have there?
Maybe a one-fight deal if they can promise him Conor Ben, then okay, cool. But otherwise, they have nothing over there.
They could promise. I mean, they just did a matchroom. Listen, Eddie Hearn and fucking Frank Warren despise each other, like fucking vitriolly, like despise each other. And they just that last fight was the fucking matchroom guys, right? It was all matchroom guys, but who was at the helm? Frank Warren. So Hearn will cross promote. So you can't look at it that way. If he does go to the zone, which I'm not a DAZN fan, don't get me wrong about their money. Terrible. But if he's willing to fight anybody, at least at the zone, he has a better opportunity to fight people outside his sanctioned body. If he goes to the PBC, it's in-house, baby. Pigeonholed.
That's true, but
behind the fucking
PBC
wall.
has standing on this.
Behind a paywall that nobody's going to buy.
Yeah, but PBC or Showtime, or not Showtime, but PBC has standing on this who's going to fight for the WBA belt with Thurman. And they also have Barrios, who's probably going to be elevated to WC champ. So that's unification fights right there.
Barrios, dude. Who's Barrios? Think about what you're saying, dude. He got sparked out by Davis, and the only reason, but it's so what? And nobody's going to, that's not going to draw people to buying it. He needs to be in 50-50 fights, or the closest thing possible. He needs to be in.
Do you think Boots and Conor Ben is a 50-50 fight?
He'd be a 10-1 favorite, 16-1 favorite over Barrios. Easily.
He will be against Conor Ben, too.
No.
Not a 16-1. No.
Yes, you will. Who the fuck is Conor Ben? What do y'all see in this dude? He's not that good.
I don't think he's as good as Boots Ennis.
I'm not a big Conor Ben fan.
But
I'm not either. But like, he has intangibles.
You think he can be? What does he do better than Boots? What would he give him trouble with? Does he have a great jab? Does he have great movement? What does he do?
I think he's more vicious than Boots. How about that? He's more vicious.
He's more vicious.
Explosive.
Yeah,
he's dangerous.
Villa was vicious. He got knocked the fuck out.
Not like this guy.
Now you're talking about skills. You asked me what he has.
Let me.
More of a killer.
I'm gonna lay in on this one. He will beat the crap and make Conor Ben look like the blown up amateur he is, man.
Yeah, I think.
There's no way he can outbox Boots, man. Boots is way too fast, way too long. He's just so much faster, has such a much deeper skill level, has much better footwork, can switch stances. There's no way that Conor Ben is going to be able to handle Boots. It'll look ridiculous, and it won't look ridiculous in the kind of
NPR. I want to see him do it. I want to see him do it. I want to see him do it.
I want to see that happen too.
About
is going to be Boots' hardest fight.
I want to see him do
Yeah, but
it.
he also locks Boots out, though. You got to understand, PBC's been running the fucking show. Okay, you had Bob Arum scooping up international players, and PBC running all the American shit for the longest time. Boots has been fucking locked out. You know, he's been the guy that's been kept down and kept back. You know, but the guy's got insane skill set levels, man. There's no doubt about it.
Down and kept back. They're doing this is what this is how they do this shit. They develop fighters. They take a long time to do it. This is exactly why all the guys they have actual careers.
Well, I mean, just what Top Rank has done to PBC. I mean, head-to-head matchup, champion against champion. The PBC is 4-24. 4 wins, 24 losses.
It's
head-to-head against Top Rank. That's bad.
Bob Arum had a 30-year head start on the PBC, bro. Bob Arum
he's a boxing guy.
Yeah, you know what?
Exactly. He's been in since 1965.
It's fair to say that he had a head start on him, but you know what? Nobody gave Bob Arum a $555 million injection into his business to go take over boxing. He actually built that up slowly, and you can see the difference in the business philosophy.
Yeah, it's called the juke. Let me stop.
Well, what I was going to say is,
that's fine.
You got the money lending component. You got a foul behind you.
I forgot where
Think about it logically, though. You have one guy that has not a fucking clue about business and how things need to operate, or they wouldn't be going bankrupt and lost all their syndication and everything, have put everything through a pay-per-view wall. And you have another guy that has his own app, and then also on top of that has a deal with ESPN to throw his fights. Who do you think is a better promoter?
Well, yeah, exactly. Arum is a promoter.
Al Heyman's a fucking joke. This is the biggest money scandal grab I think I've seen in sports since probably like what they saw in baseball like 20 years ago. This is bullshit.
You just got to ask, what exactly did Al Heyman accomplish besides burning through $1 billion? An NHL franchise. That's how much money he burned through. And really, you look at all the champions. Look at how they all ended. The careers have all ended terribly.
They're worthless. Who did he develop? Out of that organization?
Tank Davis.
Nobody. That's interesting. He didn't develop Tank Davis.
Yeah, he was referred. He's now with Tom Braun, but he's only fought one legitimate, which is crazy. This Sunday, day after tomorrow, it'll be 7 years since Tank Davis fought Pedraza. Pedraza was the only opponent in his entire career that opened up the odds-on favorite. By the time it closed, fight night, Davis was the favorite to win, but that was the only fight. Everybody after that, fucking crazy vague odds, no hopers.
That's his best win. That's his best win. That's his best win.
Oh, of course it is. And that shit's aged like fucking Clarissa Shields' hairline because the fucking
What do you think? What do you think of the rumor of Tank fighting Zepeda? Do you like that fight?
Yeah, that's not going to happen, no.
Yeah, I like that.
I wouldn't do backflips over it. I'd like to see him fight fucking Matisse. Matisse said he'll go to 135 or stay 135.
Oh, no, he can't. Maybe.
I don't want to see him do that, Jimmy. That's too much weight.
Tank will dehydrate Klaus Zepeda before he fights him, bro.
He'll probably have him cut down, and then he'll.
They're the same weight class. That'd be crazy.
He just said he'll probably.
I'm talking about Zepeda with 140. I don't know which Zepeda you're talking about. So,
145.
I thought we were talking about Matisse. I don't want to go to 35 weight.
I don't know.
William Zepeda. De La Hoya.
Yeah, I haven't checked that guy out.
And you know another thing too, fucking, you know what's not helping Bud? And I can tell you why Bud's not going to look anywhere near as good unless it's against Spence's next fight. He's fighting too infrequently now. Think about it. Inua's already had another fight and probably be fighting Neary right around the same time they run this rematch back. The PBC's trying to squash it. Clearly, they don't want to pay for that because it's going to lose money. Because there's no reason to sell it. Nobody wants to buy that. You know, especially casuals. They'll say, "Wait a minute, that guy who got washed in 7 rounds." Like there's nothing really there. You know what I mean? Seriously, it's just a hard thing. Hard fight to sell. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. What?
I said, how do you sell that shit? Like, Watch the
You have to
beat.
create-
Because it was too one-sided.
You have to,
It was too
exactly.
one-sided.
Well, you have to create a narrative, right? And you have to figure
You
out.
would
how
have
you
to
solve
create a
it.
narrative.
Revenge.
I think that's the reason why they're coming up with the injuries.
You have to concoct
I think
something.
that's the reason why he's doing the cataract thing. I think that's the reason why he's bringing up the cataract shit. I think they're trying to maybe build some kind of narrative that it was medically reduced. But listen, it comes down to this: he couldn't get out of the way of any punches, dude. And you go to Google right now. Number one effects on an athlete: alcohol on an athlete, equilibrium, inability to get out of the way of punches. Basically, it says how it slows everything down.
Well,
That's what we saw that night.
We're talking about Spence right now, right?
Yeah, Spence. How the alcohol has fucking destroyed that dude.
Alcohol has a direct correlation to dementia. So when you drink like that and say he's on other drugs, if you do cocaine, you actually drink more. And it allows you to drink more because it sobers you up, kind of. So you can imagine he might have really
on cocaine. Well, I was going to say real quick, a brain on cocaine, brother, is the same scan as a schizophrenic when they do a brain scan. It lights up the same.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Receptors. Yep. Yeah. That actually ain't good for you. You can leave that stuff
I did it
alone.
once. I did it too many times.
Dude, like especially like look at his body type and stuff. Cocaine is awful for people that need to cut weight because once you stop doing it, because it's an appetite suppressant. So what do you think is going to happen once you have to go refuel your body? These people overeat. Look at Arturo Gatti. He was a known cocaine.
Heroin too. Yeah,
well, that's what he probably used. That's probably how he went to sleep.
Cocaine and alcohol is far worse to the body than heroin.
Yeah,
because your body naturally makes the narcotic part of heroin that gets you high. Your body actually produces that. Alcohol and stuff that gets you wrecked, your body doesn't produce. That's why you can die coming off alcohol cold turkey.
Don't say cocaine. Say yayo. Sounds better.
Well, I personally I can't stand this shit. I just love the way it smells.
You gotta do a Laurie is the same thing. You don't fuck around with it. Get the yayo, man. Get the yayo.
I don't like the way it tastes. I like the way it smells.
That accent, is that a real Cuban? Because I've never heard anybody even talk like that before. Is that a real Cuban accent? What is that?
That's a Cuban trying to speak English.
Oh, you mean Tony Montella? What was Scarface?
Yeah.
No, he was kind. He was butchering it, you know. But
yeah, but you understand that's like a little ass Italian trying to act like he's Cuban. So there's probably a little bit lost.
The greatest Italian Cuban, man. The greatest Italian Cuban of all time.
Did you ever hear Tony Montana speak Spanish in Scarface? Did you ever hear him?
Yeah, he did a couple of times.
And it was terrible, and it was terrible for a man with an English accent like that.
my favorite scene, I'll tell you, what my favorite scene in that movie is by far. Fucking, I remember walking to the cinema to go see that when I was a little kid, but fucking when he's in the car with that fucking dude, shut up, because he wanted to blow the car up. Oh man, you're so bad. You'll fucking shoot children. He's talking about how he had, like, he was a criminal, but he had his fucking principles. Like, you gonna kill children? Fuck you, motherfucker. Fucking blows his brains out. Yeah. What was the problem, Tony? Yeah, I had to cancel his contract.
Hey, what happened to those type of movies, bro? What happened to Scarface? What happened to Training Day?
Look what a good boy.
Yeah, Training Day was a fucking good movie, man.
They're all about real
Training Day was awesome.
All we get is superhero movies.
Cold-blooded motherfucker. What a Judas. Like, he guy invites him over to drink his booze, then he just shoots him in cold blood with a shotgun.
Like, breathe.
Breathe. There's a dude suffering to death.
Breathe, dog.
Breathe, dog.
Why don't you
try cold-blooded, man?
That's the love. Who's better all the time, Al Pacino or De Niro?
Oh,
I'll say Pacino.
Al Pacino.
That's a tough one.
De Niro.
I personally can't stand De Niro on a human level, so that's why I can't go with him.
We're talking about acting, and we're not talking about the social aspect of, like, you sitting down and have a drink with a motherfucker. The acting quality, De Niro. Taxi Driver, Mean Streets, Heat. Well, both of them were in fucking Heat. So,
They're both in Heat.
Comedy too. Remember, he did
both in the Godfather
a whole
movie
bunch
too,
of
bro.
comedy.
Can't fucking compare.
I can tell you. I was in an elevator with Al
Pacino never did a
Pacino at one of
comedy.
Mickey's fights at Atlantic City. I can tell you right now, the dude stunk. You know what he used? Recognize my remember this shit. Somebody else, any guys older, that fucking pink fucking hairspray shit called fucking Aqua Net. That stuff is disgusting. And if it rains out, the stench. Remember that shit, dude? Oh, dude, he had all that shit in his hair because he walked in the elevator. I was in. I goes, what floor? And he walked by with a bodyguard, and I recognized him. I'm like, oh shit. But when he walked by, the stench of fucking Aqua Net, I couldn't get over it. I'm like, oh my. And every time I see him, I think, motherfucker, you are Aqua Net. That's so weird.
Jimmy,
that was great. De Niro has to be the better actor because De Niro played comedy as well. Al Pacino never played comedy.
And you know what? Al Pacino, he's always yelling. That's his stick. He's always yelling. That's not range in acting. You know, he's like in range. By the way, the wise.
Yeah, but
hold on, just quickly. The wise with the super chat. He says in an 8-man tournament, in an 8-man heavyweight tournament, who would be your 8 fighters? Well, I think that's too many fighters right now in the heavyweight division. 8.
Yeah, that's.
I'll give you 4
for that weight, especially for that weight class.
All time.
No, I think right now.
All time.
He's talking currently.
Current.
All time would be even more.
8 guys.
Yeah.
You have to pretty much put everybody in the whole weight class.
Yeah, I think Zhang versus AJ gets the winner of Usyk versus Fury, in my opinion.
Actually, Ngannou's fighting. Ngannou's fighting.
They're setting up the
I know. But I'm
AJ
saying
fight
if there was
to get the AJ fight for the Fury Usyk winner.
What do you guys think about that fight? I think AJ's going to knock him out bad.
Oh yeah,
I don't think
sure.
he's gonna,
I think
he's gonna
bust him up.
If it's a real fight, AJ knocks that motherfucker out.
It's a real fight.
I think the other fight was a real fight. I think Fury just didn't take it seriously.
Exactly.
I don't think it was a real fight.
No, there's a level of danger. There's a level of danger for AJ if he underestimates and he walks into some punches. Because Ngannou can throw nice hooks, man. If he catches them coming in, a couple of them, 3 or 4, and next thing you know, he's some clear streak, just like he was against Andy Ruiz. You don't want that. You don't want that to happen to AJ. I want to see the AJ fight with the Fury Usyk winner.
He's gonna have an amazing.
Tell me who else was impressed with AJ's footwork in his last fight versus Wallin.
It was good.
He looks a lot better. I don't know if I'm like terribly impressed, but he's. I'll put it this way: they're definitely trying to keep him safe. That's why he's moving like that. They don't want it, and he's worried about it. Obviously, he's worried about getting hit again. That's why they're. Why do you think they're tailoring? How do you say it? Tailoring the style to change. He used to be a fucking rough guy. He go in, he like literally he throw the left hook to like pin your head underneath, so and like almost put the forearm underneath the neck, and he throw the uppercut. He would stand in the pocket to fuck you up. He doesn't do that anymore because he doesn't want to get touched.
You know what it is with AJ? The win with Otto Wallin. I picked him to beat Otto Wallin either by knockout, but I went with decision. I picked the decision instead because I thought Wallin his chin will hold up. But the thing with Wallin is that the Wallin that fought Fury was a guy that hadn't lost. And this thing came into my mind, and he wasn't worried about getting hit. When he fought Gassiev, he was terrified of getting hit, bro. And he brought that same energy against AJ, which made it an easier night for AJ to do whatever he wants with him. So that was not the same Wallin that we saw with the Fury fight. It was a different version. Yeah, because he got battered against Fury. And after that, he ended up fighting Gassiev, and he was like shoe-shining his way to a victory against Gassiev. I was not really impressed with that win against Gassiev. And then he goes in with AJ, an actual power. Well, Gassiev is also a power puncher too, but AJ hits harder, but has a longer reach and all these things.
A power puncher at cruiserweight.
Yeah, I think he's still a power puncher in heavyweight too. He's got pop. It's just the thing is, it's just that AJ's even more of a puncher and has a longer reach and all these things. It's just, and you're gonna shoe shine with him like you did. You had a reach advantage with Gassiev. You're not gonna have a reach advantage with AJ.
and he walked. He just did whatever he wanted. AJ did whatever he wanted against him, and he knocked him. And he stopped him. He like you notice he quit. He quit on the stool. He didn't get back up. If he had a cut like he did against Fury, he would have probably like, there's a chance that the fight could be stopped. He could probably kept on going, but in his head, he already quit. In his head, he's already done because after 5 rounds, he probably won 1 round of that 5, maybe, and it was the second, I think. And the rest of the rounds, he was getting battered, and he was too afraid to throw a punch. He was just like very scared to do anything. Similar to what Wilder was doing with Parker. He was too scared to throw a punch. That wasn't the same Wilder we know. Same shit.
No,
both of them.
That should have been the Wilder we've known our entire
the same
existence. One. He's always been that limited.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yeah, no, he's limited, bro. But he wasn't afraid to throw punches. That's the difference.
He was so hold on, Red Breed. I don't know what you're imagining Wilder was because this is the same Wilder we've ever seen. Like if you look at the Ortiz fight, he wasn't the second one. He wasn't throwing bombs all the time.
I didn't say anything about Wilder.
What's that?
Say it was just me. It's Gypsy, bro. It's not Red Breed.
Oh, sorry, Gypsy. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is something Red Breed would say. So that's why I'm confused here. But Gypsy, exactly.
No, bro. Like I know. The second fight he didn't throw much, but in the first fight with Ortiz, he did. In the first fight, he did throw a lot of punches. In the second fight, he didn't throw shit. He just waited until he caught that one right hand and just dropped him. And
Gypsy, here's the thing. Here's the thing. What's his name? Parker never gave him that opportunity.
He didn't, because he ducked his head down.
Well, exactly. This is the same Wilder.
Nullified everything that he was
the same. All right, let's talk about what the real problem is right now. He hired a guy that he knocked out to train him, and he got rid of an Olympian that was world class because he had to fucking figure out who to blame it on. Why in the fuck would you get rid of Mark Breland? You think Mark Breland, out of all his experience, didn't know what the fuck Wilder was? Why do you think he didn't teach him how to box? Because he can't. He has the weakest legs in the heavyweight division. He can't. He literally, it took him 35 fights to have Wilder throw a left hook. I remember there was this one time they're in the corner, and I remember Breland telling him, it's like, just throw the left hook. He's like, you don't have to hit him with it. Just back him out so he can't come in. Think of how long that took for him to register that.
Well, he kept the other trainer, though.
He's a bit of a dummy. That's for sure. There's no doubt about it. But with him not being shyful for throwing his right hand against Parker, that wasn't bullshit.
He wasn't going to change anything.
I think him coming in less weight with 212 would also kind of fuck with him mentally because he's like, oh shit, Parker looks kind of bigger than me, man. He might be hitting. He might hit harder than I think. And he's kind of cautious and shit.
If Wilder would have thrown more right hands, he would have gotten caught. He would have opened up. He would have gotten knocked out, I think. So actually, for Wilder's point of view, it's better that he didn't let his hands go. He would have ended on the fucking canvas.
I agree.
That goes both ways, though. I mean, if he doesn't throw, he still gets hit.
It's possible.
He's still got hit with the right hand if he just threw it.
It's possible. It's unlikely.
Yeah, but if he would have gotten knocked out, his career would be over right now. We wouldn't be talking about this. That would have been the end of him.
He's done, bro. His reflexes are where he used to be a one good trick.
Well, we'll see against Zhang.
Completely done now.
We'll see against Zhang. I think that's a great fight. If he fights Zhang, I would be interested in watching that.
I would too. I think it's a good matchup because they like the opposite punches of each other. Wilder has a good right hand, obviously that's all he has, and look how Zhang throws his straight left cross. It's really quick. They're going to be training the same shots. It'll be interesting who fits it in. I agree with you.
I think Zhang because his punches are straight. Well,
yeah, I think Zhang's going to throw the right hook too, Jimmy. I think Zhang's going to throw the right hook. I think he's going to throw the right hook, and then he's going to give him the left hand. And Wilder will not be ready for that. He's going to be.
Parker was fucking hurting Wilder. Let's be honest. Wilder was never to Parker's strength. Zhang would fucking decapitate him.
Zhang is a monster.
Zhang has ability. His punches come out of nowhere. He doesn't wind up like Wilder. You can see Wilder's punches coming from a mile away. Look how many swings and misses he had, like overshooting the mark of Joseph Parker, who went underneath everything and was able to just a little bit of bobbing and weaving, just being He doesn't know when Parker's going to strike. He had Wilder on the back foot the whole fight, and Wilder can't be on the back foot.
Nope.
It was he doesn't hit the punching bag. I mean, he doesn't hit the peanut bag or the fucking the middle bag, the one that's tied to the floor and the ceiling. If you hit those properly, it's better.
He can't hit a double end bag. He can't hit a double end bag. He don't have the fucking hand coordination for that.
No, exactly.
There's some videos of the double head.
Yeah,
that's the hardest one.
There's no fucking way he's going to be able to do that. Are you kidding me?
Seen even Wilder hitting the punching bag? He looks awkward. Like it's.
You know what's bad, Bucho? You know what's bad, Bucho, is that Wilder's getting older and he never had legs, bro. The one thing that when you get older, bro, you should have strong legs still. Like that's the one thing you still have on your side, bro.
Recognize. Can you imagine the fact that like they took away? I think he got a basketball scholarship and they took it away from him. It's like, well, why do you think he did that? It's like you're 6'7", you have the legs of a fucking like cheerleader. Like this ain't gonna work. I'll bet you can't jump worth the shit. He's just tall.
He's got skinny legs and girls.
I don't know about cheerleader.
I think he could have become better, but
I like my cheerleader stick.
I think Wilder could have become a better
Wilder
boxer.
is that he realized, man, I could build my chest, my arms, my abs, faster. That leg shit is too much work.
Oh yeah,
it's like leg day. They run away from leg day.
What about the fact he was crediting himself for AJ's win? After the fight, he fought with more confidence because he knew he wasn't going to be fighting me next.
How did you know that?
He already signed the right, dude. Exactly. And there was fucking 78 Sports, that sycophant. Fucking what does somebody call him? 78 sycophant Sports. Facts champ is all he kept saying. It's like, dude, you fucking nut hugger. Why are you saying that to him? So these people blow up his, pump up his delusion. But he actually was saying that, right? And he's acting like, you knew they didn't want that fight, champ. You knew they did. Of course they didn't, he says.
Hey, but
fool, he already signed the contracts, you stupid assholes. What are you saying? His contract was already signed.
But if Wilder knocks out,
he shouldn't have been out of all in. It should have been AJ versus Wilder.
If Wilder knocks out Zhang, if Wilder manages to knock his back, you're gonna hear.
Of course.
He's back.
I mean, it's a lucky punch.
You never
That's
know.
what's going to be.
I don't think so.
That's the
but
best win of his career, though, don't you think? If he beats Zhang, especially with Zhang coming off, that's the best win of his career, of course.
Yeah,
absolutely, no questions asked.
That's a revamp. That's a revamp for him. That's great. That's why, honestly, if I was him, and what is that kind of what you guys are talking about? If he is on his way out, then what the fuck does it matter? I do have power. I can slam this down. If I hit him correctly, I can put him to sleep. Take the risk. Go get it.
Yeah, because you're right. Because Quacks, if he loses, it's over. If he loses, it's over. It's over.
I think he should come in as 230 or something like he did against the third fight with Tyson Fury. He should come a little more heavy.
No,
I think that's too heavy. I think the best he's ever looked is around 220.
Yeah, but
it's mentally fucking fragile when he's 212, bro. He becomes like he's too scared to get hit.
Okay, guys. Remember when Wilder? Guys, remember when Wilder went up to 230 something when the second fight against Fury, I believe, or the third fight, whatever. His legs were still the same though.
Yeah, I know, and Fury was wrestling him. So think about that. You have skinny legs, and a guy has you in a headlock, and he's throwing you around the ring. He's putting all that stress on your lower back, and he's engaging your legs, making you carrying his weight. That was such a bad. Like he was better off in the first fight, in my opinion. I thought putting all that extra weight did him a disservice.
216. Around that weight, not 230 something. That's ridiculous. It's not his
I think
body.
like 222, like 220, 222 would be fine for him. He needs a little bit more heft, but enough to keep the speed. They have to figure that out.
Yeah.
And he's got to work on his jab, man. That jab was non-existent. He didn't control it. He did better than Ortiz.
No way. You can't do that now, though, man. Like, look how far old he is. Like, if he were to have a jab, he would have discovered it by now. This motherfucker don't have a jab. I think that's one of the things. Like, this is why I think his current coach is fucking awful. He's teaching him how to box. It's too late.
Too late. He's 38. By the way, in the super chat here, the Y says an 8-man tournament at 140. Who will be your? All right, at 140, geez, man, we'd have to look at a list here, but
a lot, bro. Like
yes, a lot.
A bunch of people there.
That's a good division.
That's a bunch of people.
That's a good division.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about Wilder and Jab. Yeah, it's too late for him to learn anything at this point.
He's not going to materialize it. Have you seen what that guy was training him to do? Which I actually laughed my ass off. He had him throwing jabs to the body, and he had him squat down and use his legs. So he was jabbing the body, and he'd squat down, and he'd try to stand up and throw the straight right hand. I'm like, he's only going to be able to do that like 3 or 4 times throughout the fight because his legs are too weak. Like they're making him do movements that like somebody like Mike Tyson would do. That had strong legs.
Yeah. I think Wilder, the moment got to him too, bro, a little bit. In that fight, the moment got to him. He looked more nervous than he normally would look for in a fight. He looked a little out of the element, like a fish out of the water. He didn't look like he was like comfortable where he was, whatever he was at in the Saudis.
Are you referring? Are you? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Like he mentally looked. Yeah. He didn't look like he was there. Like he looked like he's just like nervous as fuck and like out of his own. Yeah.
Like he wasn't allowed to smoke weed. Like, girl, Spence, are you saying that, bro?
Huh?
Like, are you implying that he wasn't allowed to smoke weed like they always do? Like before the fight,
he wasn't allowed. Maybe that's like they'll cut your hand off or something like that. Probably it's a
I
thing over
think a lot of the considerations he enjoyed in the earlier parts of his career weren't available, or they're not available to him now. He's not a marquee athlete, and he's not the second best boxer on the planet, or as he claimed, the best boxer on the planet. He's literally
the main attraction of the promotional company.
Yeah, well, he's a gatekeeper.
When's the last time Wilder fought outside of the United States? When was the last time Wilder ever fought outside the United States?
This is the first time, bro. I think he just
that was fish out of the water, bro. Fish out of the water.
Well, look what he did. Look what he did with the Povetkin shit. They created so much crap that didn't even exist, and Povetkin had to go back and sue him. How fucking crazy is that? How crazy is that? They lost the first bid. They lost the first bid, and he didn't want to go to Russia. Why? Why? You're the most dangerous man on the planet. It's a ring. You're in it. Don't knock that guy out.
Yeah. He don't want that. And as of now, man, listen, Wilder's so far past his prime, he needs fucking 23 and me to find it. Seriously, that fucking dude. He's just nah, man. He needs. I can't wait for the new crop to move on. We need a new crop of blood.
I agree. I don't think it can get any worse.
Right.
Can it get any worse? This is the worst.
We need a purging.
This is the worst era of heavyweight boxing in history.
Oh, in my lifetime, in my lifetime, hands down.
I think in history, and I know there's a lot of unsubstantiated data from like in the 1900s and shit, but I would even question those guys fought more often and they fought longer rounds. So even those guys.
When you guys say era, like how many years are you talking about here?
Generation, think generational.
They usually say an average career is 10 years in boxing, so it's usually every 10 years. It's a generation.
Every 10 years. We had some good fights.
It's every 10 years to generate. And they say generation, it's usually 25 years. You'll say an era of boxing, about 25 years.
Okay, so make it easy for him. Just think like everybody in the baby boom generation, everybody in the Generation X, everybody in the millennial, and look what we're at now. This is terrible.
So y'all think that the Klitschko generation was a better generation than this one?
Yeah, there was much better fighters in that generation. There was guys that are really good, and they just went on the radar. We talked about it earlier. Look at guys like Corey Saunders, the Nigerian Nightmare.
Klitschko was boring as fuck, but I think the whole heavyweights.
But they had dangerous guys. There was guys. I think Corey Sanders would knock the piss out of Wilder. I think Samuel Peter, he would fucking kill Wilder.
Dude, a prime Shannon Briggs would fucking murder Wilder.
I'm just saying.
What about Michael Grant?
So many guys.
What about Michael Grant?
Never really. Sorry.
What about Michael Grant?
Yep. There's so many guys back then that would have tooled his ass. I think Chris Bird would have beat Wilder.
Klitschko. What do you think Vasily Klitschko would do to fucking Wilder?
Oh,
He would kill
Vitaly
him.
Klitschko would
He
annihilate
was
him.
the worst one.
He would wipe his ass with them easily.
No, he would have killed him because Vitaly
I
was
mean,
that
why would he do
fighter.
that, bro? That's nasty.
But you're right, and guys, let's look at Tyson Fury,
black,
2015. Tyson Fury. Okay, he defeated Tyson Fury defeated Vladimir Klitschko, but even Fury showed a lot of respect in that fight because it was one of the most boring fights I've ever seen in my life. So what I'm saying is that even that 40-something-year-old Klitschko still managed to gain Fury's respect. So could you imagine a prime Klitschko, how good he was?
Can you imagine being lineal for 10 years and not giving that guy a rematch? Fury's a scared bitch.
Yeah. He felt like a scared bitch, man. So, yeah, no, that you know, I think when I hated that heavyweight division back then in the 2000s. I thought it was boring and stuff, but looking back at it, the quality wasn't
better
that
now.
bad. Now it looks like
compared to now.
Garbage. Yeah.
Compared to now, I'm telling you, dude. Like, I hate to iterate this. I think guys like Corey Sanders would knock Wilder out really quick because he was southpaw and he was fast.
I've gone through phases where I've almost given up on boxing, and I remember distinctly back then. One of the phases where when I was like, "Fuck this," was when what's his name cried at the end of when he lost to Vladimir Klitschko.
Ariola.
Put a good one in here.
No,
Ariola.
What do you guys think about Wilder versus Galata? That would have been fucking nasty.
Who cried?
Oh god.
Galata would probably
Galata
got
killed
knocked
him.
out.
No,
man. I think Galata's one of those guys that I feel like he got knocked out, bro.
Galata would have killed him.
Do you remember how? You know, he was winning against Riddick Bowe in 2 fights, except he kept punching the guy in the balls, which is insane.
You remember why he said that afterwards?
Bro, Riddick Bowe was past his prime, bro, when he fought that dude. He passed way past Riddick Bowe's prime when he fought Galata. Wait, he was an old man in there.
After the interview, did you hear what Galata said after that fight? He's like, I didn't want him to have kids after that. He literally said that.
That guy was insane.
Retarded.
He's a dick.
That was retarded.
He got retarded, bro. That's the same guy that goes in with Mike Tyson in a few rounds. He quits because he's got neck pain or some shit like that. Isn't that the same dude I'm talking about?
You know, I showed that fight to my son, and he was like 6 years old. I had it on videotape or whatever, and I showed it to him, and he goes, "That's no fair."
I mean, he wasn't.
Did you see what he's doing, Daddy? I'm like, yeah, I know. It's no fair.
He threw a combo on the fucking ball, like 1, 2, 3. It's like, come on, what are you doing?
He got the punching bag, so like he was getting used to his rhythm.
Wilder would have beat Wilder up and then fucking got disqualified.
Exactly.
I just want to say this. Right?
He was like Oliver McCall.
I just want to say this one thing. Wilder's done. Right now, Wilder's suffering from 2 of the worst things you could possibly suffer from, which is he thinks his power is everything. So he doesn't need to do anything else.
Yeah,
rely on my power.
It would still be fun to see him fight some of these guys. So I mean, on a side note, it would be a good undercard. It would be like Zhang versus Wilder would be a fun fight to watch. Even Joe Joyce versus Wilder would be fun on an undercard. I'm not saying something pay-per-view or something on the main card. I'm just saying I think it would just still be entertaining to see it.
No, but hold on. But if Wilder loses
that would be great.
Hold on. If Wilder loses to Zhang, guys, if Wilder loses to Zhang, we don't want to see Wilder again. If Wilder loses to Zhang, so I mean, you know, unless you're.
I would see it. I wouldn't pay to see it pay-per-view, but if it was on an undercard, I'd definitely.
No, I know, but Madrazos, here's the question: If he loses, should he retire? And my answer is yes. He should retire. Like
fuck yeah, why? What for?
Yeah.
Well, come on.
Listen, he keeps
if he gets knocked out,
he gets knocked out.
Even if he lost the next, even if he lost the next 2 fights, even if he lost the next 2 fights in a row, and he ends up knocking out Dillian White like 3 fights later, that would be fucking hilarious. That would be, it's just entertainment. That's it.
But it's not.
That is best. He always put a knock together.
Yeah, entertainment. I see what he's talking about, but like in terms of like somebody who's serious, wants the world champion.
That's the thing. Oh, listen. Everyone here on this panel has the brains to know that we can't take this guy seriously anymore, and we haven't for a long time. And he definitely displayed that. I'm talking about something next to like a fucking donkey show here, just like for pure.
I know, but how much would you have to pay him to? How much would you have to pay him to do it, though? We've talked about this before you hopped on.
Where's that humanity?
Like if you have a guy that's already made like tens of millions of dollars, how much do you think he's going to generate right now after he's been knocked out or been beaten twice and knocked out previously? He doesn't have any value
You're a sadistic
anymore.
piece of shit, man.
I'm saying, like in an undercard fight, I think it would still be.
You're a sadistic.
But why would he take that?
Piece of
it's
shit.
For pennies on the dollar.
I don't know. He might.
He might because of them possible contract deals that are out there.
No, I just called Dom Madrassos. I just called Dom Madrassos a sadistic piece of shit.
Totally. I mean,
come on, man. The guy has to retire. Come on. If you
you guys don't think he should hire Ben Davison as his coach? Because I think that'll be working out for him.
I don't think it would harm him because I think can you imagine? Like I don't think it would harm him. Dude, that guy's. Can you imagine hiring a guy you knocked out? And think about that logically. What tactical skills are you going to show me? He's like, I don't know shit, and I knocked you out. Now you're going to show me how to box? What? What planet is that?
You proved my point. The guy's an idiot. I mean, I'm sure he would fight for whatever.
Well, not for the amount of money. I mean, just saying, what do you think he's going to be worth? Like, when he starts losing over and over again, his value's dropping as I'm talking to
his
you.
His value dropped. His value dropped after the second Fury fight, big time.
Yeah,
I mean, it went down. His stock went down. It plummeted after that.
His stock just went down like 40% after this Parker loss. Because
I mean, it went down.
Fury was elite. Parker was like fringe level, like not journeyman, but like kind of like touch title.
No,
he's a gatekeeper.
You know, he's a good gatekeeper. He's a good gatekeeper. He's a
former world champion.
He's a step above. Yeah, he was a world champion, and he's a step above in my eyes as a gatekeeper. He's several levels above like a Gabe Rosado as a gatekeeper. But he's still a gatekeeper nonetheless.
Wilder's a gatekeeper, man. That's it.
No.
He is now.
No, I'm talking about Joseph Parker.
Yeah.
Joseph Parker
of all time was probably
Joseph Parker's a legit contender now. He's not a gatekeeper anymore.
Listen. That remains to be seen because he beat Wilder. That Wilder has no skill. Okay, if you have a good game plan and you stick to it, anybody with the brain could beat that guy if they have a.
I know, but
he's not fighting a no-hoper here. You know, we're fighting someone for real here. And I'm not.
Hang on for a second, just to use their own, just to use the boxing logic against them. Wilder was ranked second before that fight happened. So in my opinion, you at least get to take his spot or at least come underneath him, and the guy that was underneath Wilder gets pushed up.
Whoa. Who ranked
He was ranked second. He was ranked second in WBC.
After two knockout losses and a 5-second fight with the scrub?
I don't make the fucking rules, dude.
Jesus Christ. Can we opt out of taking that seriously at all? That's a joke.
Well, of course you can, but I'm just saying. Just think about why he was in position to even take that fight.
Yeah,
they're trying to build him back up, and they're trying to get him back to where he was. And it backfired big time. It blew up in their face.
That Day of Reckoning card was very entertaining. There were a lot of good surprises in that fight, and that was one of them. I'm glad I bought the pay-per-view. I think, like everyone here, I was surprised that Parker pulled it off, that he evaded that right hand, and I think he got clipped a couple of times, but he was able to absorb it well and ride with the rest of the shots.
He didn't get clipped with nothing, bro. He didn't get clipped with nothing.
Are you sure?
I think it's telegraphed.
Are you sure you guys didn't take one hit?
No.
I
mean, like a slap punch, but not
really.
I
gotta watch it again. I could swear I saw him get hit a couple of times, not super hard.
There was shots that he threw the right hand where it touched the glove,
and it kind of grazed him, but nothing where he touched him. Because he did, he would have seen it. He would have noticed.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. I mean, I distinctly remember him getting hit. All right.
He hit him a couple times, but he was blocking.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Yeah.
This is the problem with his style. Though. There's nothing to set up the right hand, and they have him. And I hate this aspect for taller guys. Like, why would you have a taller guy bend down to the body? Like, if he's going to get underneath you, I don't like that tactically, especially with the guy that has weak legs. He's not going to be able to do that throughout the fight. It's a bad tactic. He's teaching him stupid shit. And what he should be doing, they should have him fight tall. He leans back to get out of pressure anyway. They should start developing a fucking right uppercut on this guy. I don't understand what the fuck they're thinking. You like the left hook's good to clear people out. You don't have to hit them with it. But when you go straight back and you're gonna lean back, you at least throw the uppercut. And they never done that with him.
I gotta ask you guys.
Uppercut's more complicated. Just get him with the jab, bro. Get him with the jab.
He's not going to throw a jab. He doesn't have the feet to throw a jab. He likes to go backwards and knock people out. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But the uppercut is more complicated for him. Skill. What do you guys have? You guys talked about Smith and Beterbiev yet?
A little.
Yeah, I think.
Earlier in the show.
You think it's going to be a wash?
I think eventually. I think Smith will show up looking good for like 4 to 5 rounds, and he's going to get fucked up.
Not even. He's not even going to look any good. He's going to get fucked up from round 1 all the way to
Smith has to make it boring. He has to try to stay out complete. He has to use his size, his advantage, long stick and movement. Well, the size just keeps the punches away. It's harder to punch a taller guy.
He can lean back. He can lean back and be out of range for a little bit until he starts going to the body and start hunching over. Like
but he can't be flat-footed. He's got to step on his toes. But
once he gets
12 rounds, no way.
Once he gets in, he's gonna say, "Daddy, please don't." He's gonna show up.
Yeah, I gotta end the show. It's been 3 hours and 30 minutes. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll see you.